Welcome to Prague in the Czech Republic for the 2022 ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup. The first race of the 5-race series. 220 athletes from 36 nations have gathered here on the Vltava River on the outskirts of this historic city. The newly upgraded artificial course is narrow, full of features, and tight racing is a given. It's kayak semi-finals time, and we'll see the semi-finalists compete in a single run down this 23-gate course to determine which 10 boats race in the final later today. You can follow that all live here at Planet Canoe. 23 gates, 6 red and white upstream gates, the rest green and white downstream gates. You have to navigate this course, a challenge, technical, physical and mental skills. Here the kayaks are sat in their boat with a double-bladed paddle. And there we have it, world champion and Olympic champion Ricarda Funk. She is in this semi-final lineup. And here is our start list. 30 boats racing in reverse order of the performance in the heats, and only 10 places in the final up for grabs. Myself, Andy Maddock, will bring you all the action as it unfolds. And I'm also pleased to welcome into the commentary booth Sofia Reynoso, Tokyo Olympic semi-finalist. Welcome to the booth.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here and watch the girls do the semi-final.
It's always exciting, the semi-final, because you have to really commit. There's no holding back.
Yeah, definitely. There's only 10 spots for the final, so we have to go pretty hard.
Well, the sun is out, the stage is set, and well, this is the first real race of the 2022 season. The first time we get the opportunity to see everybody racing from around the world, and we're only 7 weeks away from the World Championships.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the first race, and I think it's very exciting, and everyone is here, so we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Well, first up for Spain, it is Miren Lascano. She sets the way, the 24-year-old. Very much now going down this course. Remember, the athletes haven't practiced on this gate sequence. They'll have had the opportunity to walk up and down the course as much as they like. They'll have seen the demo runners, but this is the first time on this set of gate sequences. And Sofia, tell us, what do you think are going to be the key challenges on this course?
Well, I think it's a tricky course. It has a lot of moves, like using the holes and going one side to the other. So I think keeping the boat like flat and moving forward, it's going to be key for sure. She looks like she's having a good run. A little bit on the back, but she still is fast. So, well, she's getting one touch now, but...
So fast and clean is the name of the game in canoe slalom, and if you hit the pole with any part of your body, your boat or your paddle, then that's a 2-second penalty added to your time. And well, if you miss a gate or you incorrectly negotiate it, it is game over. 50 seconds of penalties added to your time. So Miren is putting in a tidy run here, and well, what are the advantages and disadvantages of going off early in the semi-finals?
I think going off early, you get the pressure off really fast. You can have a good run and then just wait, but also you have that pressure that you never know if your run is going to be enough, I guess, at the beginning. Yeah, she looks like she's not paddling like normal. She's a little bit on the back, but I think she's still having an okay run. We will see if it's enough for the final, but I don't think so. I think she looked a little bit on the back.
Well, Miren Lascano for Spain stops the clock 1:25.58. That includes 6 seconds in penalties, and well, I think those 6 seconds of penalties could be very costly indeed in terms of actually a place in the final. But next up, it is Carol Bouzidi representing Algeria. Used to represent France, and an accomplished paddler on the world stage. In fact, she is a World Cup medalist. She's a former European champion back in 2012.
Yeah, she's an amazing paddler for sure. used to be in France, now for Algeria, which is cool to see. I think she's gonna do big things racing for Algeria. She's excited for that. I'm staying with her. I think it's funny to see how she's definitely like looking forward to be from Algeria and trying to change things over there.
Well, it's a great opportunity, isn't it? I believe it's her father, his heritage from Algeria, and the opportunity not only to represent Algeria but to develop the sport in Algeria, and particularly, I guess, running into the Paris 2024 games is well, a great opportunity. Look at that, 9 seconds up on the split. So very much Carol showing her class as she comes down this course. And this into the business end of the course. Really tricky course, move 17, 18, 19 into the upstream 20.
Yeah, definitely. It's a tricky course at the end, which you're always tired, so you need to like keep your focus pretty hard. She looks like she's having a good run, I think, in a hard course. She's keeping the boat moving all the time.
Well, has she maintained that advantage? She has picked up a 2-second penalty at the bottom part of the course, but she does go significantly quicker and into first place. 1:14.10 now the lead time as our next competitor, Hannah Thomas of New Zealand, 20-year-old, setting off on this course. 6 upstream gates, gates 2, 6, double upstream 13, 14, and then 20, 21. And our course designers, Stefano Cipresi and Yuri Preskovic Sr. have set the challenge. Not as tight as you would see sometimes here in Prague, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely. Not as tight as they can be. Still, like, tricky with the moves. I think, like, you have to use for sure the water, but also you need some strength in this design. She had a really good spin at the top. I think she's paddling really well. Hannah, she looks like she's going well. Oh, but she picked up a 50-second penalty.
It looks like it. So it looks like if that is a 50-second penalty, it is game over from a place in the final perspective for Hannah Thomas of New Zealand. And well, we were talking about the nature of this course, because it's fast, it's got lots of features, and it's quite narrow.
Yeah.
And the course designers can either use all the features, which I think is what they're doing today, or they can make the athletes work really hard with the gates from side to side, which sometimes happens.
Yeah, clearly. I think definitely they're using a lot of features today, going from right to left a lot, crossing the current. This last move here is pretty hard. There's that hole and then the curler, so it's pretty easy to turn before. So you have to be very aware of going far and being wide in the gates.
So there, Hannah Thomas goes into third place. That 50-second penalty, it will be reviewed. There are video judges looking at that. There was an asterisk on her score, so it will be reviewed. But if the penalty stands, then it's game over at this stage, I'm afraid. But here's a big name. Good to see Jasmine Schoenberg of Germany back in the German team, the world champion of 2009, and still able to deliver at the highest level.
Yeah, it's amazing to see that for sure. She has such a specific technique. It's really cool to watch her.
So I think she was last in the German team in 2019. She's got a great track record, as I say, a former world champion. She was 5th at the London 2012 Olympic Games, and she's up on Bouzidi's time of Algeria. And well, Jasmine looking very calm, very composed as she uses this feature in the middle. It's one of those standard moves, isn't it? 12 to 13.
Yes, definitely. A classic move from Prague. I think it's one of my favorites. It's super fun if you get it right. Otherwise, you do a little bit of freestyle on that hole.
So these athletes make it look easy. We are watching the best in the world here. And, well, this course is, well, it looks easy. But as we say, each of those athletes have got to really work in harmony with the white water. As soon as you start fighting it, then it will bite back. Definitely.
They are amazing athletes, and they make it look like they're not working hard at all. But really, they're moving the boat like super fast. So it's it's cool to watch like the flawless paddling.
Well, Schoenberg a little bit low and just takes a hit on the wall, but you don't get a penalty for that. You just lose a little bit of time on the clock, but was still up on the second split over Bouzidi of Algeria, our current race leader. Looks like she's going to go into the race lead, 1:11.94, and Jasmine Schoenberg of Germany. Well, that's going to be quite a long wait to see whether she's done enough to make it through into the first World Cup final of the season. Here's a name to watch. Just 18 years of age, Eva Novak of France. 2 times junior medals last year. At the European Championship she was 3rd. At the World Championships at junior level she was 2nd. And she was 10th at the Senior Europeans. So very much an emerging name from the French team.
Definitely, I think she's gonna go big. She's already going big. I love her style. I think she has her paddling style. It's very French, you could say, but she's always on top of the boat, forward, and it makes it look like she's not fighting with the water. She's really using it, and it's cool to watch her being so young, making the French elite team. It's pretty amazing to see that for sure.
Well, she's up on the split time early on against Jasmine Schoenberg of Germany, our current race leader. And now coming down, well, there's a review on gate 10, just to explain that. That means she hasn't been awarded a penalty, but the video judges will be just checking to see if there's any additional information that needs to be considered. But she's low and drops and misses gate 19. She's back round, but that will cost her on the clock. A mistake on this critical section at the bottom.
Yeah, that was a fast stop, but definitely lost a bit of time there with not getting to the gate on top of it, having to do like a boogie when you go under and then back onto it.
So the 1.82 advantage was just as she went over the drop, I think, so that won't take into account that mistake, but it's still a tidy run. Eva Novak of France will stop the clock, and with that mistake, she is still the race leader for now. 1:11.33 is the new time to beat. Next up, our second competitor from New Zealand in this women's kayak semi-final. We're live from Prague in the Czech Republic. It is Courtney Williams, 40th at the World Championships in Bratislava last year. So already a good start to the season.
Yeah, she decided to go for a spin on the other and the gate number 4, which most girls have been doing in gate number 3. So that was an interesting choice, I think.
Excuse for there, just it looks like a penalty picked up in the bows of the boat. There's a lot of waves here, fast moving water here in Prague, and very easy to just pick up a penalty with the bows of your boat.
Yeah, I'm a specialist on that. It's pretty easy to do that when you're trying to move the bow of the boat fast, and you go a little bit on the stern so it pulls up.
So Courtney Williams now, though, looks like she's put that early mistake behind her,
yeah.
And still attacking the course hard and coming down. This is what I would describe as the business end of the course. This is where you can really lose some time, but if you do it well, you can find some time as well. But again, another paddler, just like Eva Novak we've just seen, has to go round the bottom on 19. It's not a disaster, but she's probably given away at least a second there.
Yeah. Going low on that gate, I think it's pretty crucial.
So again, a little bit low into the upstream 21. 2 gates to go for Courtney Williams of New Zealand.
It's a good exit there. Still picks up another penalty there.
So 3 touches, 6 seconds in penalties showing at the moment, and only into 5th place for Courtney Williams of New Zealand. The early stages of this women's kayak semi-final here. We're live from Prague in the Czech Republic. The first race of the World Cup Series, and next on course, Victoria Us of Ukraine. Well, great to see Victoria racing in this World Cup, and well, as
in the racing circuit.
I know she was away in Reunion Island training over the winter when all the turmoil broke out in her home country, and particularly as she's based in Kyiv. Then she's been through a lot in the last few months. It'd be great to see Victoria delivering to her potential. She's a very capable paddler on the world circuit. She's a three-time Olympian. She was 8th in Tokyo, and well, very capable of getting on the podium here. She's got 2 World Cup medals in the bank as such, and she was 8th here in 2019. So she has got some positive experiences from Prague.
Yeah, she definitely has. I think she could do very well in this World Cup. She's looking really solid right now. Even though she's a little bit behind, I think she's having a good run. So hopefully it'll be enough for that final. She's definitely had a hard time in these past months. It's probably not easy to have her family back in Ukraine, and her mom doesn't want to leave, so I'm sure she's having a rough time with that, and still being able to push hard in the sport is amazing to watch, and hopefully everything will be better for her.
Well, she stabilised the deficit on the second split, and now she looks like she may well attack the lead time. She does. Victoria Urs of Ukraine finds the time at the bottom and goes into the race lead. There is an asterisk on her result, so just waiting for that result to be confirmed, but it is a provisional race lead for Victoria Urs, who goes ahead of Jasmine Schoenberg and Emma Vuitton. That is the top 3 in the early stages of this women's kayak semi-final here, live in Prague in the Czech Republic.
Yeah. That spin, they're all making it look so easy, and I think it's a very hard move to control that spin. It's pretty easy to lose the balance of the boat, and they have all done a really good job, so it's very nice to learn from that and watch these girls do a really good job.
So on course, it's Eva Novak from Slovenia. Again, look at that, 3.26 second advantage on the top split, but I think the 2-second penalty came in after the split, so that may have cancelled it out a little bit, but still it's a good run coming together. And one of the things that you have to decide on, particularly on a course like this where there's quite a tricky move at the bottom, is how to pace the run. And
there we go.
Little mistake there from Ida, great recovery. Now there's an open section between gates 16 and 17, but it means actually coming into this difficult section you have probably the danger is you bring in too much speed.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to have too much downstream speed, otherwise you go down on the hole, which is what happened to some of them. But she managed to switch her speed and have momentum towards the left bank and make that gate well. She has a pretty good up here, I think. And now crossing that last current, which that last part is easy to touch that gate because the water wants to turn you to the left. So you have to fight a little bit to stay in the middle of the gate, and she does it really well.
And crosses the finish line, 112.57, just outside and into 3rd place. So Victoria Urs leads for Ukraine ahead of Jasmine Schoenberg of Germany, and now Eva Novak of Slovenia. The top 3. 30 boats racing in this semi-final for 10 places in the final. As we watch the first Slovak paddler, it is Susanna Pankova on course. Very much an emerging junior paddler. Junior world champion in 2021. Well, sometimes you see the juniors racing with no fear when they come into the senior ranks. We saw that a bit with Avie Leapfrog of the United States in 2019, and got nothing to lose, everything to gain, and I love watching people when they're racing with no fear.
Yeah, no, it's cool. You can see it in her eyes. She's fierce. She's ready to go, and I think definitely the no pressure and so much to go. It's cool to watch. I think having no fear, it helps you. It lets go of that resistance and makes you paddle at your full potential.
So 1.85 the advantage in the early split, but there was a little mistake, 12 to 13, that will have eaten away at that, and you can see that now on the second split. It's now a deficit, but it's still in touch at the moment, as we see Susanna just coming into the upstream gate 20. Penalty showing on gate 17, so time just slipping away from race leader Victoria Us of Ukraine.
Yeah, she earned one touch in one of those gates with her bow again. But she's going for it with this last sprint, giving it all. But I think it won't be too fast.
Into 6th place for Susanna Pankova of Slovakia, as we watch on the top of the course Claudia Spalinska, the European champion at under 23 level from last year, and also the winner of this race, the World Cup, here 12 months ago. Can she repeat it here?
Yeah, she has the best sweeps up to me. She always does sweeps, and it's very cool to watch. She's so strong. She can pull the boat with just one little stroke. It's cool to watch how many sweep ups she can do on one run.
Silky smooth on the top section, and look at that, 3.4 the advantage, and she looks so composed. She's not taking any risks, but she's really working well with the water.
Yeah, definitely, she's working well. She's really in the front of the boat.
Well, she was 9th in the World Cup overall last year, 5th at the Tokyo Games, so very much an emerging name in this sport, but she looks in total control here, and we'll get an indication as she comes to the second split. Well, she's stabilised, still nearly 4 seconds the advantage.
Oh.
But it looks like a penalty on 18, I heard you there. Just acknowledge that. And
a little touch there. She went too close to the pole, she turned a little bit early. Otherwise, she's doing really, really good. I think she's having a very solid run, very, you could say very calm, but she's really gliding the boat on the water, going very fast. This last section.
Yeah, a little bit low on the last upstream gate, but surely she's going to challenge the race lead here. It is Claudia Spalinska, last year's winner for Poland, who goes into the race lead by 0.81 of a second. 110.54 is the new time to beat. Well, now the first of the home paddlers for the Czech Republic is Anthony Galošková, the 2019 Junior World Champion. She was 6th at last year's World Championships and 9th here, so she was a finalist here on her home water last year at the World Cup, and I'm sure she'll be wanting to get into the final first, then attack for the podium.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool to watch someone that knows Prague so well. You can tell that she definitely knows this water, and she can keep composed, and she's always in front of the boat, which helps her glide really well. She's having a very good run, I think.
So we're live here in Prague, here at Planet Canoe. You can follow all the action throughout this weekend of the first ICF World Cup of the season. We will be live at 12 o'clock later on with the finals, 12 o'clock Central European time. And then tomorrow we obviously got the canoes in action. We start at 9 o'clock Central European time. Finals 11:30 tomorrow Central European time. And of course, don't forget the extreme slalom tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon, 4:30 Central European time. Myself, Andy Maddock, I'll keep you up to date with everything as it unfolds, and it's great to have Sofia Reynoso of the Mexican team alongside me, and just giving us that insight as we watch these athletes coming down. It's a new challenge for the race lead time.
She's having a very good run. She's been clean, and that's very good. Very clean run, which is key.
Wow, and find some time on the bottom. That's where the local knowledge comes in. But
definitely.
You can see Anthony Galošková goes into the race lead for the Czech Republic by nearly 4 seconds. 106.64. The bar has been raised. Second place, Claudia Spalinska of Poland. And in third, Victoria Us of Ukraine. But we still have 19 boats to finish in this women's kayak semi-final, and they are the fastest boats from the heats yesterday. So next up, Aki Yazawa of the Japanese team, 19th at Tokyo Games last year. And the Japanese team don't attend all the races, but when they do, then very capable of challenging for a place in the final.
Yeah, she's having a good run right now. She stayed forward. She serves the wave really well.
Nicely done on that move, one of the standard moves here in Prague.
Definitely.
Just, Sophia, tell me about, Prague. Everyone loves paddling here in Prague. What is it that makes it so special?
Well, I think for me it's like all the hole moves and the waves. There's a lot to surf, to use the water. So it's like a course where you can use the white water a lot and have fun with it. Like you can use those holes to your advantage and have fun moves. And for me it's especially that, like it's very continuous. There's never flat spots, there's always little waves, so I think that makes it tricky to keep your bow on top of the water. But it's cool to have all those different styles of moves and curlers that make it special and hard but fun.
No, it is. The skills of keeping the boat running on the waves is really key to those fast times, isn't it? As we see Aki Yazawa of Japan go into 7th place with a total time 1:13.51. Still, Czech Republic leading, Anthony Galoshkova. As we now have Avie Leapfrog of the United States of America, junior world champion, now into the senior ranks and has already made her mark at senior level. And we were talking about racing without fear, and it's interesting to see how Avie probably slightly plateaued at senior level, having achieved so much in her first season, racing without any kind of expectation, and then she delivered really well. Now she's kind of just having to consolidate.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think she still delivers a lot for sure. It's very cool what she can do, what she can pull out, and I think definitely having a bit more pressure has put her a little bit more on the edge. But I still think she's pushing the sport and pushing the US to do great things, and I think she's gonna keep doing those amazing things, I could say.
Well, she's already got 5 World Cup finals to her name, and she's only 18 years old, so great experience. She's been to the Olympic Games as well in Tokyo, so I'm sure the US team will be looking very much with interest, whether it's Paris, but certainly towards Los Angeles 2028.
Yeah, totally, I think so. She's a promising paddler. I think she's always having fun on the water, which is cool to watch, and truly enjoys just racing, and it's fun to watch. And I enjoy sometimes being on the water with her in the US. I train there, and she's a good partner on the water as well.
So a little bit of time slipping away now into 7th place, 1:13.49. It is a clean run for Avie Leapfrog of the United States of America.
Yeah.
And into 7th as we watch Elena Tunissian of the Netherlands now setting off on her semi-final run. And we're pretty much getting towards the halfway point of this women's kayak semi-final. So it won't be long before we start to confirm who our finalists are going to be. That final, 12 o'clock Central European time today. You can follow it live at Planet Canoe. So we'll get an indication on the first split. Well, Elena is certainly cutting the lines fine on the top.
Yeah, for sure. She's a very good paddler. She's a strong paddler. She trains in Augsburg, and I think she's gonna have a good time this year at Worlds. It's cool to watch her race.
Well, she's definitely an emerging talent. You know, junior and under 23 world finalist at both kind of age categories, and well, she was 7th at the 2021 Europeans, so no stranger to making a final. She's keeping it clean at the moment, but at the top of the course, she's almost tightened up too much. She's not given herself enough space around the poles to keep using and working with the water, and the time has just slipped away a little bit. 7.7 the deficit. That's a lot to make up now.
Definitely, she's fighting a little bit with the holes, but still a clean run, which is very good.
A little bit low on the upstream gate 21, so still Galashkova leading for the Czech Republic ahead of Spalinska of Poland and Us of Ukraine. That's our top three. A late penalty coming in, and Tunissian of the Netherlands goes into 11th place.
Yeah, that's as I said before, I think that's a hard gate to not touch. You have to be very wide on it, otherwise it's easy for the water to pull you and have a penalty there.
Next up, Monica Doria Villarubla for Andorra sets off on her semi-final run. Tokyo Olympian. She was 4th at the Under-23 European Championships last year. And, well, here she was 20th last year at the World Cup. So she'll be wanting to go into the top 10 and into the final. And it's all down to this run. And she's certainly looking tidy at the top. In touch, 0.85 down. We know there is time at the bottom part of the course, and Monica Doria Villarubla is, well, it looks like she's battling the water a little bit.
Yeah, but I think she's still being able to keep forward and pull the boat. I think she's been maybe a little bit tight, but has been able to manage with what she's doing. She looks good. We'll see this last part, this tricky surfing the hole and turning the boat without having any penalties. We'll see.
Great to see the grandstands filling up as well now.
Yeah.
Always guarantee here in the Czech Republic a good crowd and a really just noisy crowd that will support everyone. Yes, they'll support the Czechs, but they'll support everyone as they come down the course.
Yeah, I think it's one of the coolest World Cups, like to see all the people come and support, and it's definitely cool to watch all the spectators be excited about the sport and join in.
So there is a review on gate 18 underway to see whether there is a penalty. Currently not one given. And into 5th place provisionally for Monica Doria Villarubla of Andorra. So the top three unchanged. Galashkova leads ahead of Spalinska and Us, as we are now into the final 15 boats of this women's kayak semi-final here. We're live in Prague in the Czech Republic. Myself, Andy Maddock, and alongside me, Sofia Reynoso of the Mexican team. And on course now, Barbara Valikova of the Czech Republic.
Yeah, another one that knows the course really well. We'll see what she can do with the time. I think she can go very fast. We'll see if she can do it. I think a little bit late on that. She had to do a spin and earned a little touch.
So that 2-second penalty picked up by DS, losing a bit of rhythm. But this course, unusually, a lot of the course is set here in Prague that is just relentless, isn't it? And once you get offline, you keep paying for it for several gates, whereas it's a little bit more open than normal.
Yeah, I could agree with that. It's open, you have time to regain yourself and keep it up if you have a touch or something, or if you're offline.
6.5 seconds, that's a significant amount of time to find on this bottom section. But that local knowledge, well, this is the time to be digging deep. Let's have a look. This is the critical section, nicely through 18. A tidy spin on 19. Now you've got to get tight into the upstream 20, and, well, super tight there.
Yeah.
And, well, the judges will be looking at that, I suspect.
For sure. I think she's trying to pick up that time. She looked very fast on that last section, I have to say. Very, very, very smooth and very tight on the poles.
Well, now, coming through the final gate, it's Barbara Valikova of the Czech Republic, and goes into 11th place provisionally, and there are still 3 reviews ongoing. And just to explain those reviews, there are judges on the bank, but there's also video judges reviewing to just make sure we have the fair penalties at the end of the course. So for Austria now, it is Victoria Wolfhard now coming down through gate 4. Great to see Victoria back. She struggled a little bit with injury last season, And hopefully she starts the Paris cycle injury-free and able to focus in on the World Championships coming up in 7 weeks' time in Augsburg in Germany.
Yeah, she's looking very good until now. She's having, looks like she's kept online. And forward. Oh, she arrives a little bit low. She lost the bow on this one. But still, like, didn't lose much time.
Yeah, it's you can't win the race at the top, but you can lose it.
Yeah, definitely.
And Victoria's done a solid job at the top, like you say, a little bit low in 13, so now time to really nail the line. So this is the gap between gate 16 and now coming into 17, 18 and 19. 2.36, so the gap has extended, and Victoria can't afford to let any more time slip away. And is that a penalty on the exit on 20? It is confirmed.
I think with that penalty, it'll be hard to pick up the time, but I think still she's had a good run, a solid run, but everyone is very fast. You have to have an excellent run.
So lead time still 106.64, held by Antonie Galashkova of the Czech Republic, and it's going to be outside of that into 5th place provisionally for Victoria Wolfhard of Austria. And well, just a video review to complete, and the top 3 still Galashkova, Spalinska, Us, as we start to get towards being able to confirm who our 10 boats are in the women's kayak final. That will be later on today, 12 o'clock Central European time. You can follow that live, but stay with us here in this women's kayak semi-final. The men's kayak semi-final will follow the women's kayak. And well, here's an exciting paddler on course, Ana Satila of Brazil.
Yeah, she's definitely, for me, one of my favorite paddlers. She's a Latina, so I think it's amazing what she's done, and it's so cool to see that. And I'm always a little bit biased with her because it's cool to watch someone from South America do these type of things and go so far like she's done.
Well, she was super tight on 13. She really looks like she's found the groove here, and we'll get an indication as she comes through gate 17 where she is on the 2nd split. But she was in touch with the race leader on the 1st split, Ana Satila of Brazil. She's a junior world champion. She's been to 4 Olympic Games now.
Yeah, I think so.
And she's certainly very experienced. And the thing I love about Ana is that she'll always throw caution to the wind. She'll always attack the course, and she'll not leave anything out there.
That's definitely true. I think she's a very solid paddler, when she puts together a run, she's fearless and just goes always super hard, and is able to do that. That penalty was
well, provisionally into 2nd place.
Yeah.
The penalty hasn't gone on gate 20 yet. I think there's a review as to whether it was a penalty or not. But into 2nd place, so provisionally, and actually the asterisk's gone off. So Antonie Galashkova still leading. Ana Satila for Brazil now in 2nd, ahead of Claudia Spalinska for Poland. As we start to get into the sharp end of racing and we start to look at one of the form boats from last year's World Championships, it is Elena Lilic of Germany. She had an amazing season in 2021 and came away with 2 individual medals from those World Championships in Bratislava. Looking so smooth on this top part of the course. And look at that, up on the split, 0.57 up on the early split.
Classic move. Oh wow, she nails it pretty fast there. She stayed on top of the hole, super good.
So for those of you who aren't aware, then she's married over the winter. So Elena Apple, as she was, is now Elena Lilic, silver medalist at the World Championships, and 3 World Cup finals she made out of the 4 in the 2021 World Cup series. So very much a
she is cruising
contender.
down the course. She's been in the middle of all the gates.
You're right, that's a really good observation.
Yeah.
She's not taking any risks,
No,
but
no,
she's
no.
finding the lines and using the water, and look at that, she's still up on the split.
Yeah, she's arrived very, very safe in the middle of everything, wide lines, but cruising down, just making that boat glide. Very cool. I think she's definitely going to be...
New race leader.
Yeah.
104.51, and Elena Lilic goes into the lead for Germany. So that's ahead of the Czech Republic's Antoni Galoškova and Brazil's Anna Shatila, as we are now in a position. 11 boats still to go in this semi-final, so not long before we start to confirm our finalists. Next up for Great Britain, it's Kimberly Woods. Kimberly was quick in the heats, but picked up penalties. And we know that she's got a really good feel. She's fast over the water, but fast and clean is what gets you on the podium.
For sure. Like, being clean is definitely key in this sport.
She was a bronze medalist at last year's Senior World Championships in Bratislava. And look, in touch, point 2, in touch with our new race leader for Germany. And having to fight a little bit for 13, but pretty tight.
Pretty tight.
She was 10th in the Tokyo Olympic Games. And of course that bronze medal at the World Championships was, well, I wouldn't say a surprise, because she's always been in the mix, but she had quite a big car accident in the days leading up to the Championships, but she put that behind her and delivered a personal best at the World Championships. 2-second penalty though, picked up on gate 17, but still in touch with the race lead, bearing in mind that Elena Lilic, our race leader for Germany, was super quick on the bottom section. That's where Woods needs to find some time as well.
Yeah, she arrived really good on this up, so I think that's going to help her. We'll see how she does here. Yeah, still wide on that gate. Now heads for the sprint.
So another penalty added on the upstream gate 6. I didn't see that earlier on, but into 5th place for Kimberly Woods of Great Britain. So Kimberly will have to wait, see whether that's enough for a place in this, the first World Cup of the 2022 season. We're live from Prague in the Czech Republic, and we are into the final 10 boats in this women's kayak semi-final. So we will start to be able to confirm who is going to race it out in that final.
Yeah, that's exciting. We'll see. We have another French paddler here.
So it's Roma Priss of France. The Prison dynasty
Yes.
lives on very much, and well, we have 2 Prisons still to come in this semi-final. And yeah, Roman on course, who is an under-23 World Championship silver medalist from 2021, 15th here last year, so in touch with the final.
That was very fast.
Yeah, and considering she's got a 2-second penalty,
Yeah.
that she's in touch with the split. So it'd be interesting to see the French and how, you know, they've got the Paris Olympic Games coming up, and I'm sure the focus very much is starting to sharpen up, because there will only be 1 boat per category into that French team.
Yeah.
And up on the split. So Roma Priss is challenging our race leader, or she was, until she picked up those penalties.
Yes. She arrives. She had a bit of a trouble doing that spin there. She went a little bit too far to the left bank, but still manages to come high into the ups.
Well, it's slipped away a little bit at the bottom, but it's not over for sure.
No. Still a strong run. We'll see.
So into 10th place. So it is unlikely to make it through into the final, unfortunately. But bad news for Romain Priss is good news for Elena Lilic, our current race leader for Germany. We will see you in the final. Next up, Natalia Pasianik of Poland on course. She was 2nd here last year in the World Cup. So very much capable of getting into this final. And that's the job. It's one run at a time, really. Take it one step at a time. And
that was very, very tight. We will see.
Yeah, you're right. Sofia Reynoso alongside me from the Mexican team, a Tokyo 2020 Olympian. And yes, very much observing that, well, the whole head has to go through the gate in the correct direction.
Yeah.
And there is a review now confirmed on gate 6. It'd be interesting. I think our call there is it was tight, and she's definitely left it to the judges to make the decision.
Definitely. Luckily, the video review is always very, very precise, so there's nothing to miss there.
And unfortunately, it is a 50-second penalty. Just waved it a little bit, just took a little bit too much out of the gate. And it's game over. That's a big shock for the silver medalist from last year's World Cup here in Prague. Natalia Pasianik of Poland will not progress through into the final. But that's good news for the Czech Republic, though, because Anthony Galashkova is into the final, so the Czech Republic have at least one paddler who will progress through into that final in front of a home crowd, and we can expect some big noise. And we were talking about that crowd. One of the good things is they're so close to the action, aren't they?
Yeah. It's like you can really hear them when you're at the course. They're right there. It's amazing to come to a country where the sport is so big. Coming from a country where the sport is small it's cool to watch that and hope.
So unfortunately for Pasianik of Poland, 21st place and no place in the final. As we watch the second paddler from the Netherlands in this women's kayak semi-final, it is Martina Wegman on course. And, well, very capable. She was 7th in the Tokyo Games and 4th at the Euros, but she's got a bad kick off gate 4. And
she lost a little bit the edge. She leaned a little bit back there.
So big recirculation there. No penalties, we should emphasise, but that will be penalised on the clock. And most importantly, Martina will really need to find some rhythm.
Yeah. And
put that mistake behind her. Focus on the gates still to come.
For sure.
Look at that.
She's a very strong paddler. 4th at the Europeans.
Yeah, so fresh off that result at the Europeans. And a disappointing start to her campaign, because she absolutely has been just improving over the last couple of years. Always before was known a bit more as a big water paddler, as an extreme slalom paddler, but she's really started to come out as a serious contender for the podium.
Yeah, I think it's very unique. Like, she comes from a creeking background and was able to completely switch to slalom and still keep up some of the creaking and big water that she does, and that's very cool to watch, because normally it goes the other way around. You go from slalom to creaking, so it's cool to see that she and I have done it the other way around, and she's really making it out there.
Well, the damage was done at the top. She's put in a good run on the bottom section, but 11 seconds the deficit, and into 17th place for Martina Wegman of the Netherlands.
Yeah, her bottom was very good though. She really picked it up.
So Anna Satila joins Anthony Galashkova and Elena Lilic in the final. That final you can follow live at Planet Canoe, 12 o'clock Central European time, but stay tuned, because we're watching the world champion, the Olympic champion, Ricarda Funk of Germany, on course. And, well, we talk about smooth paddlers, we've seen some so far. This is what Ricarda is known for.
Yes.
Wow, 1.31 up on the top part of the course.
Damn. She's always, I like the style that she has. She's always in the middle of the gates. She's like, when she risks, she's still a very safe paddler, and it's cool to watch what she can do with that. She can really sprint, that's for sure.
She's making this look very easy indeed. She does have a review on gate 7, but no penalty showing at the moment, and 4.5 seconds the advantage. Ricarda Funk of Germany is stamping her authority on the field, the Olympic and world champion. She's also a European champion, not current reigning European champion, but she has a full spectrum of titles. She's also won a World Cup title as well.
Wow, she's going very, very fast, very smooth on these course, in the middle of every gate, keeping forward. She's really flying through this.
Ricarda Funk of Germany is going to be into the race lead, 102.26. It is a provisional result, but even if she got a 2-second penalty, she would still be in the race lead. But into the final for Ricarda Funk of Germany, ahead of Elena Lilic, Anthony Galashkova, Anna Sitila. They are our 4 finalists at present, as we watch Camille Prissot of France now launch her semi-final campaign here in the sunshine in Prague. Well, Camille Prissot is always, she's always there or thereabouts.
Yeah, she's a very smooth paddler.
She's an under-23 world champion back in 2018. Quite often in the finals, not necessarily that common on the podium, but really emerging as a big force. 1.6 down on the split. Well, that is in touch with a place in the final. Just ends up on the back of the boat a little bit from 12 to 13. She was at full stretch there to get tight into the upstream 13. Again, looking very calm, very composed, and not taking too many risks.
No. She's with the French style, always having that boat flat and gliding.
So 4.3 down. Now that sounds dramatic, but that is more of an emphasis on just how good Ricky Funk was on the middle section. So I would say Prissot is still in touch very much with a place in the final as she comes down into the final upstream gate 21.
Yeah, she's still looking very fast. Does this last move very well. Now heading for the last sprint. I think it'll be good.
Very good. It's a good time.
Final.
It's going to be into the final shortly. Third place for Camille Prissot of France. And well done. You are in the final. And just to confirm, Ricarda Funk, because there was a provisional review into a gate, is confirmed as our race leader, 102.26. So 5 boats still to go. And on course now for Great Britain, it is Mallory Franklin. Mallory Franklin had a, she had a roller coaster European Championships a few weeks ago. She came away with 4 medals across the different events, and she also nearly came away without any teeth from the team event. But it all worked out well, and she picked up, I think it was the bronze medal in the women's kayak event at those European Championships. She's a silver medalist at the World Championships from 2018, and she's up on the early split. Nicely done, 12 to 13, very composed.
Very good.
It's one of those standard moves, isn't it? And you do have to feel it and let the water do the work, and then strike as soon as you know it's kind of there.
Definitely, you have to know it, and you have to. It's easy to lose time or gain time on that move, depending how you use the water. I think she did it very well.
But 2.7, the deficit now, and again, this is Ricarda Funk was so good on this section. There'll be a lot of people looking at video between semi-finals and finals to find out just where Ricarda Funk found that time. Mallory Franklin now, a penalty on 19. Important to stay composed, stay on it. And another penalty coming into the upstream 21. It's slipping away for Mallory Franklin of Great Britain. Currently, for automatic qualification, you need to be inside 109.24. In fact, it's a bit slower than that, 110.54 for automatic qualification. So despite the mistakes there, Mallory Franklin, you can breathe easy. You are in the final.
Very good, yeah.
So there'll be some work to do for Mallory Franklin there, but it shows there's some time in the tank. So Franklin, Sotila, Galoskova, Prissot, Lilic and Funk are in the final, but we still have 4 places to confirm, and on course at the moment it is a Liska Mintalova of Slovakia, who, well, is a European champion, joint European champion with Stephanie Horn.
Yeah, a very, very strong paddler as well. All of these girls in the semi-final are all very strong. She goes a little bit farther, touches that gate, but I think she's still being fast on the time. Does really fast this last move from going to 13.
Yeah, she looks like she's really found that rhythm at the top. Yeah, she has got that 2-second penalty, but she looks like she's paddling well within the margin really to get into the final.
Yeah, it still looks super solid. We'll see this last part, how she does it. The tricky surfing that hole, but it looks like her spin is solid.
Nicely through 19, into the upstream 20. Very good, very tight, but also gets the exit. So the time to beat to automatically get in the final is 110.54.
This last section, as long as,
and it's going to be comfortably inside that. Crosses the line, 105.89 into 4th place, so it is Ricarda Funk still leading ahead of Elena Lilic. Germany 1-2 at the moment, ahead of Camille Prissot of France. But we've just seen Liska Mintalova confirm her place in the final. So we're down to the final 3, the fastest from the heats. And for Italy, on course, Stephanie Horn, who was that joint winner of the European Championships just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and a medalist in Augsburg, the ICF international race, so...
Already 2022 has got to a good start, and I think she had quite a tricky winter in terms of, I think she didn't really have a coach support, and there was some issues going on, but it doesn't seem to have affected her.
No, looks like she's come back stronger. So.
She's a little bit
tight.
Down, 2.5 down on the top section. She looks like she was fighting it a little bit late on some of the moves, but well, she's in the groove now. 12 to 13, sure. That was awesome.
Very fast 14 up too as well, a classic. Oh wow, this was fast too.
So now, she has picked up a 2-second penalty though on gate 15. Now into the business end. This is the critical move. 17, 18, and then 19 into the upstream gate 20. 7.9 down on the split. So she's going to be really on the cusp of either just in or just out of the final. 110.54 is the threshold now, still for an automatic place in the final. Essentially, it is Claudia Spalinska of Poland against Stephanie Horn at the moment for the next place in this World Cup final. We're live in Prague, and Stephanie Horn goes into 6th place. So confirmed. Well, it's a provisional result. There's still a review going on, but provisionally into the final. Well done, Stephanie. Claudia Spalinska still having to wait and see whether she's done enough. 2 to go. Jessica Fox of Australia on course, the world #1. She's won 3 World Cup titles in a row, so that's a pretty outstanding performance. She's 3-time Olympic medalist, 3-time world champion, and the most decorated, well, I was going to say female paddler, but she's actually the most decorated paddler in canoe slalom history.
Yeah.
And she's only 28.
Yeah, no, it's quite unreal what she's accomplished and keeps accomplishing.
So she's down on the top split, partly as a result of a penalty on gate 7. 4 seconds down at the moment. There's no need to panic, and you can see that she's not panicking either. She's sticking to the plan. She's very much
Very
under
fast
control.
on those ups.
So we have seen a few penalties in this semi-final, and certainly when we get into the sharp end of racing later on in the final, then there's no margins for that if people want to go for the podium. 7.5 seconds down now.
Yeah.
Jessica Fox needs to make sure she delivers on the bottom section, and then she will get in the final. But it's not a convincing run at this stage in the competition. 2 gates to go. The time to beat 110.54 total. She is going to be inside that, but she'll be looking to find some time in the final. 108.28. Well done, Jessica. You are into the final. Provisional result still in 6th place.
With that review, yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
With 1 boat still to go, and it is another Czech boat. Theresa Fiserova is on course with a distinctive yellow helmet.
Yeah.
The under-23 European Championship bronze medalist from last year. She was a finalist in the European Championships last year as well, so had a good season. A European champion in extreme slalom as well. So
yeah,
we'll
as well.
be looking forward to seeing her in action tomorrow in the extreme slalom. You can follow that 4:30 Central European time tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon. We'll be live at Planet Canoe. So 1.47 in touch with a place in the final. 30 boats have raced it out in this women's kayak semi-final here. We're live in Prague in the Czech Republic. It's the first race of 5 in the World Cup Series. And now we're looking to confirm our final competitor in the final later on. 12 o'clock Central European time. You can follow that final. But of course we'll be immediately following with the men's kayak semi-finals this morning.
Yeah, again, so cool to watch these Czech paddlers in their home course. You can only really learn from them. They know it so well. They know the tricks.
Well, I can confirm that Jessica Fox is in the final. The review is complete. No change to her score. Theresa Fiserova will be into the final for the Czech Republic. Into 6th place, 108.17. Again, there is a review ongoing on gate 12, but provisionally the results for the finalists for this afternoon, it's Ricarda Funk of Germany who will go off last in the final. The athletes race in reverse order of this semi-final performance. Elena Lilic of Germany is 2nd in the semi-finals. Camille Prissot of France is 3rd. Liska Mintalova for Slovakia, Anthony Galaskova for the Czech Republic, alongside Theresa Fiserova of the Czech Republic, Jessica Fox of Australia, Stephanie Horn of Italy, Anna Shatila of Brazil, and Mallory Franklin for Great Britain. Those are our 10 finalists, and Mallory Franklin will lead off the final at 12 o'clock Central European time. So a few big names to miss out. The likes of Claudia Spalinska, who was on the podium last year. Martina Wegman, we saw that mistake at the top. There was no way back for that after such a promising start to the season. And, well, don't go away, because that is the women's kayak semi-final completed. The final will get underway at 12 o'clock Central European time, but we will very shortly be up with the men's kayak semi-finals. That's it. So we are into the men's kayak semi-final. We're live from Prague in the Czech Republic, and the men's kayak semi-final, 40 boats through from the heats on Friday, and now we get into the sharp end of racing. Those 40 boats have to be narrowed down to just 10 in the final. That final will follow the women's kayak final today, 12 o'clock Central European time here at Planet Canoe. The start list is here. They're reverse order of the heats, so the fastest in the heats will go off last. We've got some big names to watch, but probably none bigger here than Jiří Priskovič of the Czech Republic, the Olympic champion, world champion, in front of his home crowd, and well, he's a big name, European champion. He's you name it, he's won it. So myself, Andy Maddock, will bring you all the action, and I'm now pleased to welcome into the commentary box Noel Hendrick of the Irish team. Welcome, Noel.
Hey Andy, happy to be here.
So 40 boats, it's always going to be tight. Just give us a little bit of your thoughts in terms of this course design. Are we expecting some really tight racing to get into the final?
Yeah, I think so in Prague. I think there's 40 people in the semi-final, but to be honest, I think all of them are capable of making this final, and especially in Prague, you're going to have some very tight racing, no matter how difficult the course they do set.
So we have seen a few penalties in the women's kayak semi-final, and penalties could well be very significant. But we're underway with racing, and we have Matis Saudi on course for Morocco. Sets off on this 23-gate course. The course designers, Stefano Cipresi, the world champion here from 2006 for Italy, and Jiří Priskovič, senior.
Yeah, very nice start. Tis always after taking gate 8 very tight, but yeah, very nice first upstream, and staggers afterwards have been quite tight and getting a little bit stuck up in 9, but he's knitting together a decent run so far.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking as we went through the women's kayak semi-finals. I guess Prague, there's two different styles really, isn't there? There's the people who will absolutely squeeze every inch out of every gate, or there's those that will really just paddle the water, get the boat working and running through, and just give a bit more space around the gates. We saw Ricarda Funk do that superbly for Germany.
Yeah, no, I think so, but I think he's after picking up a touch, is it? A 2-second penalty on 18. I think that's going to cost him a lot, but I think in Prague, you just have to take it on, and I think there's very little room for kind of putting in a conservative run, especially on a course as tight as this. And yeah, I think Matthias here is definitely, that's what he's been trying to do, and it's a pity about the touch, but I think he has managed to knit together a decent run.
Yeah, you're right, and it looks maybe even a touch on the final gate there, but we'll have to wait and see. He's going to stop the clock, 100.60.
Yeah, I think he knows it's going to be a difficult time. Ricarda putting in a 102 to win the semis in the women's, so I think we know there can be a faster time put down. Lucas Guerrero from Switzerland.
Well, Lucas,
very strong guy, this guy. Very pretty physically impressive paddler.
Yeah, and Prague favours a bit of physical attributes.
Yeah.
It's not such a technical course, although some would dispute that. I think all courses are technical, aren't they? But you certainly here, it's pretty open.
Bit stuck in the spin, but he's nice first upstream, and he's running about anyway. And I think he's been in the final here before. I think the Europeans in 2018 he was in the final, and a few other ones other than that.
Yeah, and he made the final, one final in the World Cup Series last year, 7th in pole in the third or fourth World Cup of the season, and he's up on the early split from Matis Saudi.
Oh, he is, and see what he can deliver on this 12-13 move. That's decent going around the back of 13. Yeah, I think if you can run the boat up the top of those very tight staggers, I think there's a lot of time to be found in it, and Guerrero looks like he's doing that nicely.
Well, he's certainly attacking the course. He's keeping it clean so far.
And a bit of a tail touch on the bottom, I think. I think he hit the bottom of the course.
Yeah, and that's just now showing that he's lost a bit of time.
This move is very critical. Oh, 2 touches.
So this move under the bridge, 17, 18, 19, 20 that you just said, very critical. I'd agree with you. It's the most technical move on the course. and we've seen already lots of penalties that have ruined some good runs.
Yeah, I think so, and you can even see that he's up on the first 2 splits. Like, he's faster, but he's taken 2 touches on that move, so it's definitely struck as it looks like Matthias has been given a 50-second penalty. But yeah, even though he's up on 2, even though he had 2 touches, like, and he's up on the first 2 splits, like, you can be very behind as soon as you take those 2 touches, you know, and I think the splits will be hard to look at.
Yeah, so into the race lead, 102.62, that includes 4 seconds of penalties, and you're right, Matisse Saudi did get a 50-second penalty on the downstream gate 8. So early stages, 40 boats racing in this men's kayak semi-final for 10 places in the first World Cup final of the season here in Prague.
Stefan Hanks, that was nice and tight. Yeah, it's a nice start to the run.
So Stefan Hanks for Germany, 5th at last year's World Championships.
Another very good. Yeah, this is a pretty good start to a run. I'm liking, he's taking some pretty tight lines, and the boat is still definitely, yeah, he's a second and a half up on Werl's first split time.
So we'll have to watch what he pulls together here. You can't win the race at the top, but you can lose it, yeah. And it's all about laying it down, building into the run, and in particular making sure you deliver this section coming up. Yeah. So through 16, then there's quite an open section of a sprint, yeah, and it tightens up.
Will lend to Hank's strength anyway, and he's actually paddling a boat of his own design, the Orbit, and he's a bit late. Oh, he's going for the spin on 18 or 19. Yeah, he's pulled that off pretty decently. I think this is a pretty good run by Stefan. Waiting a little bit there. He looks pretty tired down the bottom, but he's still pushing, I don't think.
Well, we'll see. He almost certainly will go into quite a significant lead, given that the current race leader.
Oh, he's managed to pull it off, and yeah, I think this could be a pretty good benchmark for a pretty good time.
Well, Lucas Vero is going to go under 100 seconds, a long way under, 96.45, and into the race lead. There is still a review going on the downstream gate 11. No penalty showing at the moment, but it is still a provisional result. Hanks leads ahead of Vero and Saudi after 3 boats down. Crowd starting to gather as they are all eagerly anticipating the hero of the Czech Republic, Jiri Preskovic, who will be in action, the Olympic champion.
Here we have Gabriel Decaster. Very big fan of his boat. Looks very, very nice, I have to say. He's Olympian in 2021 last year, and he's put down a pretty impressive performances the last 2 weeks in the world ranking race in Augsburg as well as the Euros. And yeah, he's paddling. He's in pretty good form at the moment.
So he was
very wide exit on 7, 6 and 7 there, but he's ran 7, 8, 9 nicer, but I think that exit will be costly. Oh, he's tight.
Well, he is certainly leaving nothing on the river, and he at the moment is rewarded with that, 0.61 up on the split. But
you can see how aggressive he's accelerating. If you look at his facial expressions, he's really fighting for this run.
He can't afford to take those risks on this next section. He's got to make sure he keeps it clean and just delivers this bottom move. Here we come, into 17, under the bridge, and he's got the advantage, 1.77
up on
over
Hank's split as well. Yeah. He's going for the spin. Yeah, if this is a pretty good run so far.
Yeah, he's good. He's good on that section. Now, can he hold on to the advantage that he's got? Every stroke counts, even down at the bottom here. You might think you've delivered the most of the course, but you've got to time the strokes over the waves. You've got to make sure you keep that boat running all the way to the finish.
Yeah, he went out, but he went for the high line there in the exit last upstream, and I think will it go into the lead? I don't think so.
Just outside, 96.68. Gabriel Decaster for Belgium goes into second place.
It's interesting how much time there is, like, after the second split. Like, literally the last quarter of the course, it's nearly the entire course. Like, your time could change in it.
So, on course now for Australia, 27-year-old Tim Anderson launches his charge for a place in the final. He was the bronze medalist at this year's Oceania Championships in January.
That's a nice spin down. it's a pretty nice style, Tim, to watch. I quite like watching him paddle. He's really on top of the water and pretty smooth.
Right, well, he certainly set off with a really good rhythm.
That was
he's
lovely.
giving himself space around the poles, and he's working well in harmony with the water.
Yeah, he was very good on 7 and 8 there. It looked really good. And yeah, it's very good start to the run.
Rewarded on the split. He is up on our race leader, Hengst of Germany.
Nice upstream as well. Tim's really throwing down a pretty good run here, and yeah, it's exciting to see what happens. He's a nice upstream in 14, a bit hard on the exit. Bit stuck under 15 and 16, but he's got to re-accelerate the boat.
So it's interesting, the early racers, they have no real benchmark to go for. They just have to focus on their own race. What would you do as an athlete in terms of, do you approach it any differently between, if you're early off or late off in the semi-final?
I think a lot of paddlers would. I think it depends on the paddler. I think sometimes if you're off early, you don't really have a choice. You have to. But I think some of the later paddlers might look at some of the early boats, and that will help them make decisions on spins or straights. But I think maybe the very comfortable paddlers here, like the likes of Viprindis and Yuri and stuff, they know they've done every move 100 times. So to them, it's they've already kind of made their plan. But I wouldn't be surprised if the cameras pan and we see a few athletes looking down on the course during this semi-final who are off later on in the semis.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there's some who will paddle within themselves once they start to see the risks and see the pattern emerging. But into third place for Tim Anderson of Australia. As now, we have a first name World Championship silver medalist from last year, Marcelo Vader, on course for Italy.
Very good paddler now. I've seen him training a lot in Ivrea, and he's physically very impressive on the water as well as technically very impressive on the water. And it's nice to see him paddling well. He's took that gate 8 very tight, I was about to say, and
he's got a 50.
Unfortunately, it's been given to him. Maybe he'll go into an inquiry, but it looked very tight. But he's still. What's nice to see is he's still battling for it. And I think that's an important thing to do when you're paddling like this. Is you don't know if an inquiry will put in your 50 come off. So it's important for you, no matter what way it goes, to finish out your run as if nothing has happened.
Yeah, so unfortunately a 50-second penalty showing at the moment. In fact, there's a review on several gates at the top. That was a little bit a summary of just how tight some of the moves were for Marcelo at the top. But unless that's removed, then there'll be no place in the final, unfortunately, for the World Championship silver medalists of last year. But this is the first World Cup of 5 this season, so we have a block of 3. We start here in Prague in the Czech Republic. We move on next weekend to Krakow in Poland, and then the following weekend to Tartu, Ljubljana in Slovenia. Then we have a break, and we have the World Championships in Augsburg in Germany before the final 2 World Cups of the season.
It looks like Gabriel Decaster was given that 50-second penalty in the end. And so it's Hanks, and it looks Tim was given a touch. So yeah, Hanks still holding the lead, and I think Tim Anderson took up that touch in gate 20, from what I gather.
You're right, it has changed there. So Martin Srabotnik of Slovenia now sets off on course, and just finishing off, we're in Po for the 4th World Cup of the season at the end of August, and then Seo for the World Cup final, which of course is double points in Spain. So a busy season on the ICF circuit, but how important is it to get your season off to a good start?
I think it's pretty. Now I wouldn't say it's as important as maybe other sports, like where you've accumulative points over the course of the season. You've seen a lot of people take bad starts to a season and come back and win a World Championship medal, and I think it can be done. But it's nice to get wow, that's very good by Martin there. He's knitting down to get a very nice middle section. But yeah, I think it's important. It's nice to get your funding worries finished, at the start of the season, because then you feel very free to. Oh, he's after catching an edge. But it's nice if once you have those worries finished and you're secure for another year. It's much easier to race very free. And despite the difficulties, he's up on Hank Split. Oh, he's picked up a touch.
Well, I think that's the advantage gone at the moment, and Martin just fighting the white water a little bit.
Given a 50-second penalty on 18, another touch on 20.
So it's not going to be, unfortunately, for the Well, an accomplished paddler. He's been a finalist at junior level, under 23 and senior level, World Championships.
Final in the Worlds in Po in 2017. So that's that tight exit out of the last upstream. And Hanks did that, and a lot of people tend to be up on, or they're faster than Hanks' second split, but because he took that such tight line out of the last up, I think he built a lot of time back on people. So it'll be exciting to see. I think a lot of the Czechs will take that line as well, and you can see I think there are going to be a lot quicker times posted.
So the lead early on in this men's kayak semi-final here, the first World Cup of the season in Prague in the Czech Republic. It's Stefan Hanks leading for Germany ahead of Timothy Anderson and Martin Srabotnik of Slovenia. So next on course it is Kazuya Adachi of Japan. What a start.
Oh, it's not what you want. I've done it a few times myself, but it's nice. He's made a final here before, though. I think he's a very, very accomplished paddler, Adachi, and he was particularly good in the world ranking race in Augsburg last week. He's always been good in Augsburg as well. I think he's been in the final there as well. So I wouldn't count him out just yet, even with the touch on gate 1. I think he has the ability to go quite fast.
He's a 2-time World Cup medalist. I think he's made 5 World Cup finals.
That was very quick.
So he's very capable of doing it, and he certainly hasn't been phased by that mistake at the top of the course.
He's definitely building time back. You can tell. I'd be surprised if he was, still 2 seconds down in the next split. I think he'll be within touch. Oh, he's a bit caught up there in 16. He's going to struggle to make time back here. 1.96 down.
Well, he has closed a bit of time, but this is the critical time, and it's really nicely delivered there. Yes. 18, 19, 20. He may well have just found a bit of time. It's damage limitation now. He's not going to challenge the race leader, Hengst of Germany, but he can keep himself in with a narrow shout of a place in the final.
He's getting second, and he's gone for the above line in the exit, but I think he could run it quite well. He's running the length here, and yeah, it's pretty inspiring to see him fight to the very end, even though he definitely had a few sections where he was struggling. And
so he's going to stop the clock, 98.82 into second place, and a good bottom section, but the damage was done at the top. And Kazuya Adachi is into second ahead of Timothy Anderson of Australia. But that 2-second penalty, I suspect, will be significant when it comes to the final ranking. So Benjamin Pope of Australia now sets off on his run down to see whether he can make a final.
And some graphic at the start, the fawns. Oh, he's picked up a touch on the first upstream. Never nice, but he's put in a very nice spin afterwards as well. I think he's going to have to fairly give it everything he's got now.
Well, he's certainly cutting the lines there on 6. No risks there though. It looks clean.
Tightest shakes out of 7. He's ran under 8 quite nicely. It's tight. Another touch on 7. Oh, he's caught an edge. Oh.
Boom. Well, that's all over, unfortunately, for Benjamin Pope of Australia. 50-second penalty on gate 10. And whilst we don't want to see anyone make a mistake, sometimes it's useful to see. We are watching the best in the world, and they make it look easy.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to see that actually just how powerful the water is, and you just make the tiny little mistake and it punishes you very harshly. So unlucky there, but it does show the calibre of the field we're watching.
I think when you've taken a touch up the top like that, especially on Prague, you just have to commit fully in later down the section. That's either going to end like it did here, unfortunately, but there's a lot of times where you can make back that touch, and I admire that he still was fighting for it and willing to make that commitment later down in the course to try and claw back that time, and it's impressive to see. And unfortunately, it just didn't go his way today.
Yeah, well, he's still racing it out, which is good to see, because whilst he knows it's game over, then it's all experience as he crosses the line into 9th place, and it is still Stefan Hanks leading for Germany ahead of Kazuya Adachi of Japan and Timothy Anderson of Australia. But we're still, well, we've got 31 boats still to finish in this men's kayak semi-final.
Give this man a bit of space, I'd say. Winner of the second heat, and yeah, multiple Olympic medalist and world champion 2018, Hans Eigner.
So Hannes Eigner for Germany on course, and yes, absolutely, Noel has introduced him well. A very accomplished paddler and someone that you would never rule out. In fact, it almost seems you put him as back against the wall, then it fires him up more.
Yeah, I know he had to do a second. He's knitting together. That was very nice in 7 and 8. What will he do here in 10?
Very strong paddler, and you look at his stroke rate. Actually, his stroke rate isn't high, but the power to weight ratio is obviously high indeed. And
he's a bit low in 13, but he's running the boat well, and I wouldn't be worried about this man's arms down the bottom. I'm sure physicality won't be a problem anyway in the bottom move. Lovely. Yeah, he's knitting together a good run here. I know he had to do a second heats run, but good horse only jumps as high as it has to, so I think he's doing well.
So Hannes Eigner now in the business end of the course, nicely through 18. Good spin on 19. He'll be tight into the upstream 20, and he's been narrowing that deficit. 0.35 on the second split, but surely now he will be challenging the race leader, Stefan Hanks.
He's gone for the tight line out as well, and he's delivering. It looks like he's going to deliver. I think he's going to do well on the time here. Was it 96?
96.45, the time to beat, and surely he goes inside by just over a second. Hannes Eigner takes the race lead for Germany. It's Germany 1-2. Hannes Eigner leads for ahead of Stefan Hanks, and then Kazuya Adachi for Japan in third place.
I think that was the first person we saw nail that move down the bottom, the Kirk's move on 17, 18, 19, 20. And fellow Irishman here, Ali McCreary, is nice to see him in the semi-final, and to get in the first runs like that was very impressive, and nice to see him on the start line.
Well, indeed, I think it's a personal best. He was pretty close to making a semi at every race last year, but didn't quite make it. But already ahead of that in the 2022 season.
Very aggressive spin, actually. It's left him a little late on 4. He picked up a touch. He's just paddled by 5. And,
So that's a flyby, unfortunately, there on the downstream gate 5, and a 50-second penalty.
It was still a very impressive performance in the heats, and I have to admire the spin up the top there was very good, and you could tell he really wanted to try and go for it. And it's like I said on Prague, it's just something you've got to do. And yeah, he's finding it difficult now, but it's still a very impressive performance this weekend from Ali.
Well, unfortunate there, but again, it just shows how powerful the water is, and if you just give it a little bit, or squeeze a bit too much out, then it will bite back. And Ali McCreary now coming down under the bridge, keeping the run going, but it is
still delivering down the bottom, which is nice.
In fact, nicely, a little bit sticky in 19, but nicely delivered. 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, very nice on 18, 19, 20.
So this men's kayak field includes, well, there's 5 world champions in this 40-boat field, and we've got 2 Olympic champions, Joe Clark, Yuri Preskovic, very much will be fighting it out, and those boats still to come in this men's kayak semi-final. We're live from Prague in the Czech Republic. Myself, Andy Maddock, and alongside me, Noel Hendrick of the Irish team, as we go into our next competitor. Joshua Joseph of the United States of America sets off from the top of this course. Very
aggressive and powerful paddler. I honestly don't know what they're feeding this man, but whatever it is, I want some of it, because he's so impressive in his straight line speed, and how much he commits in his runs, and acceleration is very good.
Well, it looks good on the top section. Didn't quite get the exit on 6, but I don't think we'll see much of a damage.
Very good on 7 and 8. He's delivering a nice run here. He's a bit late. Yeah, he's up on Eigner's split. That's lovely as well. Yeah, Joshua putting down very good top section, and very nicely delivered on 12-13 there as well.
Well, let's watch now. Comes into 14, so then we've got the 2 downstreams, 15, 16, then there's quite an open section that tempts you to get the boat up to full speed, but then you've got to control that pace as you come into 17.
That's, if you look at Joshua, he's really gritting his teeth there. He's picked up a touch on 17. That could be costly, but he's still fighting. Very nice spin on 18, 19. He's fallen off the wave a little bit.
So you can just see one little error and it just adds up, it just compounds, and all of a sudden, from being the fastest on the top, then the time is slipping away at the bottom for the athlete from the United States. Joshua Joseph now through the last gate, gate 23, and it's going to be outside of a place in the final, I'm afraid, on this occasion. Goes into 6th place, but still 28 boats to go, and the door is, well, there's no way of getting into the final from there, unfortunately. Still, Hannes Eigner leading for Germany. Germany 1-2, and now the 3rd German boat in this semi-final is on course. Noah Hegger, 23-year-old, goes to see whether he can get into that top 3 and stand a chance of a place in the final.
Very impressive paddler. Noah, 3 finals in a row last year, and he's been paddling super ever since, and same again at the top here. It's a lovely start to the run, very smooth.
Yeah, his best in the World Cup last year was 6th, and then he finished 6th at the World Championships towards the end of the year, so very much on a bit of a roll.
Yeah, he's a man to look out for the World Champs later this year in Augsburg. I was watching him in the World... Oh, he's late! I was watching him in the World Championships now, or the World Ranking Race in Augsburg just gone, and very, very impressive paddler.
Great recovery there on that move on gate 10, and really didn't cost him much on the clock.
Wow, 12-13 was very fast as well. He's nearly... I think we could see a German 1-2-3. I wouldn't be surprised if Eigner and Hanks make it into the final, and if Noah keeps this up, I think he'll be in contention as well.
Well, I think we know as a baseline, Hannes Eigner, the current race leader, 95.44 is, he didn't do anything wrong all the way down, so I think that's a fairly good baseline for absolutely being in contention for the final. But Hegger is up on the split, so perhaps not as tidy on the bottom section here. He's got to keep it together, but he's very much in touch with a place in the top 3.
He's Pete on the wall, but actually going to work, and he's going below. He is going for that low line. All 3 Germans have done it so far. Bit late, get on the power then. I don't know if this will be the same as Hans, but it's going to be a bit off.
Into third place.
It's German 1-2-3. I think that line getting caught up there in the last downstream cost him a lot of time. I think he was definitely in the 96 round other than that, but it could be in contention, I guess we'll see. But I'd be confident that Eigner will be definitely in contention. Mario Leitner.
So Germany 1-2-3, Eigner leads from Hengst and then Hegger, as we now look at Austria's Mario Leitner, who is another key name, who is very capable of getting into the final. Super quick when he finds the groove.
Yeah, and it looks like he's done that at the top.
He's a junior and an under-23 World Championship medalist.
Yeah, he's had a very good under-23 career. He's one of the best I ever heard of, like for a lot of medals. And he was in the final in the Europeans 2 weeks ago, and it was very impressive to see. I think he's up on Eigner's split. He's knitting together a lot of people are very good in this top section. A lot of people are it's quite competitive. It's probably hard to tell because of the penalties, but it seems to be a very competitive semi-final.
Well, I think you're right, but I think you've got to be careful at the top, haven't you? You can you get the fastest split, but you've also got to find your rhythm. You've got to find that composure
to bring it down
to be able to deliver it at the bottom, because we've seen a lot of fast times at the top that the wheels fall off at the bottom.
Yeah, Mario's in contention. There's a review on gate 3, but I didn't see anything. But this is a really good run by Mario.
And solid. He's not taking many risks, but he's absolutely pinning the lines.
He's a really nice guy, so I'm kind of rooting for him here. Kind of want him to bring this down together, and that's lovely. Lovely upstream.
Super tight into 21.
That's gone for the high exit, a bit stuck, but this is going to be a very quick time, I think.
95.44 the time to beat. That's Hannes Eigner of Germany, and that is under threat. It's going to be outside of that, but into third place.
Just between split the Germans there, and that's a good run.
So 1.49 down on the race leader there for Mario Leitner of Austria, and you can see just how tight things are starting to get as we watch Martin Duguid of Switzerland.
Yeah. I've seen this guy do a lot of training in Po, and he's extremely fit, very, very fit guy, and I've seen him go off in a 4-minute effort as if it's a 30-second effort, so he's a very, very fit paddler and very good technical paddler as well, and I think we're seeing that now at the top. It's a very nice, smooth start.
Well, he's a World Cup winner. He won that Po World Cup race in 2020, and of course he was 6th at the European Championships this year, so he's already had a good start to the season at Liptovsky Mikuláš in Slovakia.
Yes, it's nice. He's very in touch with hands split there.
5 100s down, so that's absolutely what is required.
He's fallen off the wave a little bit now. He's still got tight into 13, but I think he has to deliver something to be in contention. I have to do something safe, or sorry, not safe, very like dynamic down the bottom.
We're now through 15, 16, a little bit sticky now. He's got to get on the gas, but now he's got to find the line as he sets up this tricky little move. 17, 18, 19. He's found some time though, 0.8 up.
I completely take back what I said. He's taking a lot of time out on Aigner, and he's quite good there in 19-20. I think this is a good run. This could be in contention. You see how he delivers this bottom move.
Super tight on 21. Now he's got to hold the bows on the exit to get that line for the last 2 gates. He does that. Yeah,
he's gone for that high exit, but he's ran it very quick. And 92 going through the last gate. I think this will be in contention. Second place maybe? Ranked third. Okay, so Hanks and Aigner still up the top.
So into third place. Martin too good.
Seems very happy.
Well, it's a solid run, clean run.
Yeah, it's very happy. I think it could find its way in. I'm going to put some money on it now. I think Aigner and Hanks will get in, but I'm afraid to say that, but I think they will.
Well, that's our top 2 at the moment. Hannes Aigner leads for Germany, 95.44 as we look at the world champion from 2021. For France, Boris Never on course is a 2-time world champion and, well, super consistent performer.
Wow.
And, you know, he
got here very late this week as well. Like, he wasn't here at the start of the week, and look at him, he's very much so in contention.
2021 for him was a great season. He obviously, the Olympics didn't go the way he wanted, but he did make 5 finals out of 7 big races, and including obviously winning his 2nd world title.
He changed his helmet as well. I don't know how relevant that is, but he paddled a whitewater helmet for years, and he's now using a Vita helmet. I just thought it was funny. But he's knitting together a decent run. I think he had a kid about 2 weeks ago, I think, during the Europeans, his wife and a child, so looks like the lack of sleep isn't getting to him, but he's knitting together a good run here. He's a bit hung up there.
One of the older athletes on the circuit, 36 years of age, but it certainly isn't holding him back. And look at that, he's building into the run. He's now turned a deficit into an advantage, and now very good on the spin. He's got to get tight into the upstream, which he does.
There's a bit waiting on the exit. It wasn't as good as Hans anyway, but he's definitely nothing wrong with the run anyway, and he's has a lovely up in 21, like bound up. He's gone for the high exit.
So Boris Never of France is looking really solid and composed, and surely going to challenge the top 3 as he comes down through the last gate. Ducks off gate 23, and the time slipping away at the bottom into 6th place. So he lost time somewhere in the last few gates.
I think he suffered a bit in the upstream 20. He was a bit sticky on the exit, and it's a pity because it was such a nice. But I think we're seeing that a lot. Like, a lot of people are up on Aigner's 2nd split, but he was just so good down the bottom. He's good. Zan Jackson up here.
So Zan Jackson of Slovenia now sets off.
This man is very top heavy from what I can tell. He is very, very big guy anyway.
So under 23 World Championship finalist in 2019. We know he's fast, but he needs to deliver. I think I've seen him on a few runs where he has delivered some exceptional sections, but not always the most consistent.
He actually won. He won that World Cup in 2018 in Tatson, I think.
The one that was stopped.
He won the heats and then he was given.
I think he's
50-10.
He has just 50 gate 10. Another flyby.
It's a pity. We've seen a few people do that, and it's one of those gates where you either, if you want to cut the line, there's that chance that you'll fly by it. But interesting enough, he switched to a Palacic. Don't think I've ever seen a Slovenian paddler paddling a Palacic, and very interesting to see him paddle that. But it seems to be going his way. I know he struggled here in this run, but he's had a few impressive performances up until now.
So as we watch Jan just paddle this out, let's just recap. This is the World Cup semi-final. It's the men's kayaks in action. We're live here in Prague in the Czech Republic for the first World Cup of the season. And we will be racing in the final later on today. You can join us live 12 o'clock Central European time at Planet Canoe, where we'll start with the women's kayak final, and then we will follow on with this men's kayak final. But first of all, we've got to find out which 10 boats will be in that men's kayak final. And well, sadly, we know it's not going to be Zan Jackson of Slovenia. So that 50-second penalty on gate 10, and the disappointment quite clear to see on his face.
Isaac Rostrom, he spends a lot of time here, and he's very lovely style paddler. Like, his forward stroke was very, very nice to look at, and pretty excited to see him throw down here. Nice. Yeah, he got married last year, Isaac, and his wife is not married. Used to be a paddler. I think I'm not sure if she still competes, but yeah, he's knitting together very nice upstream there, and an impressive heats performance as well.
He's a World Cup winner again in 2020. He won the Tots World Cup.
Yeah. And
no stranger to finals, but a little bit just not quite made the step from being a regular finalist to being to getting on the podium. But
yeah,
he is up on the split early on.
Yeah, he's knitting together a very impressive run here, and kind of like what we've seen. He's up on Egner's first split, and he's a bit low in 14, but I think he didn't go very tight out of there. I think he's lost a bit of time there, but he's still pushing, and I think he's a very calm and composed paddler. He's like looking at him now, he's breathing well, and he's
wow, 1.7 the advantage. He's found some time that no one else has in the middle section. There'll be a few looking at that, and he does deliver 19 to 20.
That's lovely.
This has come alive.
Yeah, this is a very impressive run. Oh, it's a touch. Oh, that could be so costly.
Oh, that's, I was just about to say, you've just got to hold it together in the last few gates, and well, sadly, all that hard work on the top has now been ruled out by the penalty
push down to
on 21.
Oh, it's such a pity. I think that would have been the lead, wouldn't it have been?
Surely it would have been the lead, but Isaac Erstrom
it was just outside, but
goes
I have to say,
to 6th place.
I think he could have been pretty confident that would have made him in if not for the touch. I think it's a pity. Look.
Well, let's take a breath. It's still Hannes Eigner leading for Germany, ahead of Stefan Hanks of Germany, Martin Duguid of Switzerland in 3rd, as we watch Darius Popiela of Poland, who you know is always going to be fast.
Yeah, definitely pretty fast in a straight line, this guy, and very, very nice guy as well, and I look forward to seeing a pretty good spin there.
So he's won.
Touch on 4.
He's won 3 medals in his World Cup career, and plenty of finals. Certainly, he's been in the Olympic final, World Championship finals,
European Championship silver medal in 2017.
So
he's been given a 50-second penalty on 4. He must have knocked it out of his way. It's a pity because he's up on. If it were not for the 50, he would have been up on Egner's split.
Oh yeah, look at it. He's really got the rhythm. He won't know that he's got a 50 probably.
Well, I think it's good for him. Look at him, still trying so hard. I think it's good for him to deliver the run down the bottom, because who knows what could happen with inquiries and things like that. He's still pushing. I think the Polish have a very strong team at the moment. Like they have 4 or 5, maybe even 6 really strong K1 boats.
And of course, we'll be racing in Poland next weekend, so you can follow that live at Planet Canoe. We'll be racing in the 2nd World Cup of the season in Krakow in Poland, and as you say, Noel, we'll expect the Poles to be quick around their home course.
I think so as well. I think that's a lovely last upstream as well. I think he's still delivering this down the bottom, and he's trying a lot.
So Darius Popiela of Poland, he may not even know that he's got a 50-second penalty. He crosses the line, and it is a quick time, but only 13th, a 50-second penalty awarded on the downstream gate 4. So it's not to be a final for Darius on this case, because see the disappointment there.
Butcher, New Zealand. Very consistent paddler these days. Very nice guy as well.
Well, it's interesting. The New Zealand team had a great performance yesterday in the heats.
So hi to his mum. Hi Finn's mum. I think he meant to say hello to you.
So yeah, Finn Butcher on course, and it would be good. He's showed a lot of promise over the last couple of years for making finals consistently, but has he just taken a touch on gate 6? He has. It's confirmed on the exit, and Finn just needs to steady it down and make sure he doesn't add any more penalties to his tally.
He's still in contention with that touch, and I think if he just can keep pushing down the bottom here, that was lovely in 12 and 13. Like, bow was always below tail, and the boat was just moving towards the upstream. He's good, and I think he's been very consistent the last 2 years, and himself and Callum Gilbert are just so tight for times between the two of them. They have a very competitive team at the moment between the two of them.
Yeah, Callum Gilbert still to come in this men's kayak semi-final, but yes, Finn Butcher, it's not all over. He has closed the deficit a little bit, 2.08, so actually, without that touch, he would be very much still in contention. A little bit has to duck off 19 and wait for it, but it's not all over yet.
Yeah, he's struggling on the bottom here, but
nicely into 21, and we can see even a good run we saw with Isaac Erstrom. A superb run still ended between 21 and the finish, so there is plenty more in this run. Finn Butcher, it's a solid run, but that touch at the top is costly. Into 8th place, 99.30.
But without the touch, he would really be in contention. Like, he'd be in that 4th, 5th area, and yeah, I think he should be happy with that performance.
Well, we are at the halfway point in this men's kayak semi-final in the sunshine here in Prague in the Czech Republic. It's the first World Cup of the season, the first time we really get to see all the paddlers from around the world coming together and showing who is in form. And on course now, Galindo Chiarello of Switzerland now coming out of gate 2 into 3 and 4. And he's attacking this course right from the start.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with Galindo, and he's definitely the type of paddler, and his heats run in Liptovsky and the Europeans was so fast. He's just so attacking right from the gate, and his first split is always just so fast, as we're seeing there. And he's a very exciting paddler to watch, and he's trained a lot, very hard this year, and it's nice to see him getting those dividends.
Well, 1.4 the advantage, that is superb, but I don't want to be the pessimist, but he's got to hold that all the way down the course.
Yeah, it's nice upstream in 14. He's gone for a very tight exit, and he's running the boat there well. I think he's a bit tight, but I think this is going to be a pretty good in contention split. It's still 1.14 up.
Well, he is very much holding on to it. So through 18 now, spins around, held in the hole, but
if anything, that kind of helped. He's got a tight exit here. I think this could be going well, because the bow actually pushed him back a little bit.
Seat of the pants stuff here in Prague, and can he hold it on for all 23 gates? If he can, he's going to be
He's gone for the tight
contention.
exit. Oh, that is going to be costly, getting the bow stuck there. Oh.
Well, we'll see. Galindo Chiarello for Switzerland is going to cross the line in 7th place, and it slips away on the bottom part of the course. But how exciting was that? He certainly left nothing on the river there.
It was literally the exit of the last upstream. I think he could have taken the lead. He was very quick up the top, and it's a pity. But I think he should still be very, very proud of that performance.
Next up for Great Britain, it's Bradley Forbes Cryans, 6th at the Tokyo Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Was a World Championship finalist in 2019, 4th. And now you can expect again, Bradley will always be cutting the lines wherever he can.
Paddler. He's an explosive paddler, and he's a really nice paddler to watch. He's gone for a super tight exit there at a 6 and 7, and I think that's what makes Bradley, like, you know, he's so fast, and he can be so fast in his days, taking very tight lines like that, very comfortably taking them. You can see he's well in touch, a second up on English split.
Well, I bet even he took a little bit of a breath there on that move, but he's a little bit sticky on
a bit stuck there.
The upstream 13, but he was nearly a second up at the top of the course. It's all about keeping that boat moving, and most importantly, keeping it clean.
Yeah, he's getting a bit stuck here in this middle section. I think he might have lost a bit of his advantage, but where is he at? He's still up his side. Take back my words. I've got that split wrong a few times now, but lovely. Oh, he's on the back.
So coached by Richard Hounslow, himself a former Olympic medalist, and super risky on 20, but it pays off for Bradley Forbes-Grimes, but he's got to stay focused. Still 3 gates to go on this course. 95.44 the time to beat. Surely that is under threat. Can he hold on? And
oh, he's a touch on 21.
Is that a touch? We'll have to wait and see whether it's a touch or water splash, but as he crosses the line, just outside into 3rd place, 7th place. The touch is confirmed on 22, and 7th place for Bradley.
Ah, it's a pity, because I really think that would have been in contention. Otherwise, damn, I think you can tell he's disappointed with that. I think Bradley's at the stage where he can consistently be making finals. Oh.
Here we have it. There's the slow-mo on gate 22, and you can see the margins.
Oh God, I do feel for him, because it was a very impressive run.
So that dropped him 4 places. And, well, from being right in contention to being on the edge as we watch Matteo Desnos of Brazil now launch his charge for a place in the final. Great performance in the heats. Now, can he repeat that? Can he challenge into the final?
Yeah, that's a nice delivery. Although he's a very smooth paddler, Matteo Desnos. He's formerly a French paddler, and you can tell it's very evident in the style. He's up on Agner split. He's very smooth and nice paddler to watch.
Well, you're right. The last few paddlers have really taken some time. They've found time at the top, but they haven't been able to convert it into a result, really. They've lost the time at the bottom. Whether that's about pacing or whether it's just a little bit unlucky, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, he's a decent run again.
So let's watch.
He's up on Agner's 2nd split. I think we've seen most people are up on that 2nd split.
It's interesting, he doesn't, he's just thrown it away there, but it doesn't look like he's taking many risks. But yeah, that's going to cost him a 2 seconds penalty for the penalty, but also on the clock. I think it wasn't the fastest manoeuvre there for Matteo as he comes into the final upstream gate 21. Too tight, takes another penalty.
At this stage, it kind of feels like nearly a given that people are going to be faster on those top splits, and we're just kind of waiting to see what they do down the bottom, because it's just that make or break move down this bridge section.
So into 13th place, so no final for Matteo Desnos of Brazil, unfortunately. And course designers, Yuri Priskovic and Stefano Cipressi have set quite a different course to what you normally have here in Prague, but it's certainly not a straightforward course as we watch the Olympic champion from Rio 2016 on course now, Joe Clark for Great Britain.
He's very nice off the start there. That was a seriously good start sprint.
Fresh from 4th at the European Championships just a couple of weeks ago in Liptovsky Mikuláš, and super quick through gate 3 and 4.
You can tell he's in very good form at the moment. He looks like he's in very good condition. And, yeah, wow, yeah, it's another great exit on there. And yeah, you can tell Joe's a bit tight there, or 7-8 was a bit of a long line, sorry, but he'll be up on the split, I'd say.
Well, you can. He was. And he's just 50'd. Another flyby on gate 10. And those are the margins in our sport. And well, just didn't get the kick that he expected, and 50 seconds of penalties added to his time.
Because it was such a commanding run up until that point. You could tell he was. Wow. Yeah, it's a pity. I think we've seen that a few times. People just go by 10 because it's one of those lines, and without the 50 he's nearly 4 seconds up on the split, but I do understand you have to take into account he missed a gate.
Absolutely, he's showing that he is in form, as you were saying, and he was telling us that over the winter he's fixed himself, he's had his wrist fixed, he's had his shoulder fixed, and he hopes to be starting the Paris Olympic cycle very much in full fitness and ready to take the battle to anyone who wants to fight him, but it's not going to be here today in Prague. But of course, we will still see him in action in the extreme slalom, where he is the world champion from 2021. Joe Clark for Great Britain, a great top section, but one little mistake, and unfortunately that is not going to see Joe Clark through into the final. There it is, that's the move.
It was fairly conclusive. Yeah, I'd still think there's a lot of positives. Now, be disappointed because he's the calibre of paddler where you'd expect him to be fighting for the win.
Well, talking of calibre and paddlers, here is one, a legend of the sport, Peter Kauza, the oldest paddler on the start line for Slovenia, two-time world champion, Olympic medalist, you name it, he's won it. And let's see what he can do.
Yeah, and he won the world ranking race in Augsburg last week, and wow, he's put down a good top. And there was a bit of a betting pool going on last week in Augsburg, and we won a lot of money on him. My coach won a lot of money on Kauza, so I'm rooting for him this week to put down another good performance. So
1.36 up on the top section. Kauza is flying
lovely.
very good on 13. World Cup overall last year he was second.
World champion here, or not, European champion here in 2018. So he's so good here, and he's so quick in these sections as well, the straight line sections, as well as that's the fastest we've seen on that split now, 2 seconds up.
So Kauza showing us that it's all about stroke placement.
Stuck. Oh no, I think his deficit is going to go now.
That's it, he had the advantage, it may have slipped away, but it's not all over for Peter Kauza. But he has got to deliver this bottom section, which isn't a given as he comes into 21. Super tight for Kauza. Yeah, but he surely has thrown away that advantage at the moment. We'll just have to see how much of it has been thrown away. 95.44 to beat.
That's still pretty good time. 97. So where does that land him? 5th. Wow, without that, he would have been very, very competitive.
So what did that tell us? Well, he made a mistake on 19, but it told us there is still time in that course. 95.4, yeah. There's still at least a couple of seconds to be had.
I do think there's a chance of seeing like a 94, even a 93. And
I'm going to say there's a 92 in this.
You think there's 92? I wonder will somebody take the direct down the bottom. That's what I kind of, if anyone's going to take it, I assume Yuri will, but it'd be nice to see. Lucien Delfour on the course.
So Lucien Delfour for Australia now launches his campaign for a place in the final. Very smooth paddler, and you always know Lucien will take the risks.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a man for the tight lines, and when it pays off, my God, he can be one of the quickest paddlers on the circuit, and I do really enjoy watching him paddle. Oh, he's cut the edge and rolled.
So another one
on gate 10. Wow.
Gate 10 has taken a few scalps, and well, Lucien Delfour, another one to fall victim, and it's well, for those of you not so familiar with canoe slalom, it is a critical move where the athletes are relying on a bit of a kick from the water, aren't they?
Yeah, I think it's where you kind of put your faith in the hands of the water, and I think gate 10 is a bit of a cruel gate where I don't think you're going to win the run on gate 10, but you can lose it, and it's a pity that happened to Lucien, because I think he has the potential to be one of the fastest paddlers out there, and especially here in Prague.
I'd agree. Well, disappointment for Australia here, but it's still the top 3 unchanged. Hannes Eigner of Germany, the world champion of 2018. Stefan Hanks in 2nd. Martin Duguid in 3rd.
He delivered gate the spin down the bottom there, very good. Wow, it was very impressive.
So, as we watch Lucien Delfour just paddling out his run for Australia, his focus will move to the extreme slalom events, the time trial today, and the head-to-head racing you can follow live 4:30 tomorrow here at Planet Canoe. Rejected there, just caught the edge, took too much of a hit, and then no way back for gate 10 for Lucien.
Pepe.
Here goes Pepe, or Pedro Goncalves of Brazil.
Very popular paddler, and he's been in the finals here before, and he's a very good paddler now. Definitely, he spent a lot of time here, and he's very good here. That was a very fast spin.
Of course, he was a World Championship finalist last season as well. Finished 9th at the World Championships, his 6th at the Olympic Games in Rio.
Yeah, the speed on the boat was so fast. He's really committing to this run. He seems to be in very good shape. That was fast. 1:52.
Well, this is awesome. 1.5 seconds up, and he's absolutely skipping the boat across the water.
Yeah.
And can he hold on to that? Well, good through 13, 14. This is where we've seen some people struggle who've been super quick at the top. Have they kept the energy? Have they kept the precision for the bottom part of the course. Well, Pepe now approaching the business end.
Wow, he's 3 seconds. That's the fastest we've seen on that. But the boat speed on the boat is so quick, and he's lost a bit of time here, but I still. Oh, come on.
Well, that was outstanding in the middle section. Now he's got to hold on to it. He's still surely got some sort of advantage. Some of it slipped away.
Yeah, he's doing his best to lose the advantage. But I think he could still be in contention here going through the second last gate.
Is he still coached by Vavra?
I don't know actually if he's still coached by Vavra. I know Edere Avaldi has started working with the Brazilians again, and I know that seems to be a very good dynamic. He's ranked 3rd.
Into 3rd place.
Wow, and with that mess up like down the bottom, and there's so much more time for Pepe in that run. I think you might be right. There could well be a 92 in this run.
Well, outstanding stuff. Well done, Pepe. That is into 3rd place. There is an asterisk, so it isn't a full finalised result yet, but into the top 3 and very much in contention for place in the final. So Malo Canoe for France now on the course. And we're getting towards the sharp end. In fact, we've only got about 13 boats to go, so we will be able to confirm who is in the final very shortly.
Lovely. I think he's very sharp first upstream, and the second upstream is very good as well. He's very impressive in the French trials, Mano was, and I think he's definitely shown. I'm pretty sure he was in the final of the Europeans, and he's definitely been on form and was quick there as well.
He was 7th at the Europeans just a couple of weeks ago, so that would have been a great kick-start to his season. And one thing you know, in the French team, there's always competition just to get into the team.
The hardest part of their season is team trials. And wow, he's a bit sticky there, but he's putting together a very nice run.
Yeah, one thing to note is we still haven't had a Czech paddler. We've still got 3 Czech paddlers to come down the course in this men's kayak semi-final. Wow. Still holding on to an advantage, so 0.82 up. And tidy through 19. So Malo Canoe for France, very much in contention still. The job is, yes, it's getting through into the final. It's making sure that you don't take too many risks, but you do enough to qualify through into that final.
The touch. I was about to say it was a really nice exit. That touch would be costly.
It will indeed. It was an ambitious line out of the upstream gate 21.
That would have been, that would have been your 6th, 7th area without it, and it would have been very, very good.
And unfortunately, that puts him out of contention for a place in the final. There we see the mistake at the bottom, and again, someone who goes under the bridge, up on the race leader, and finishes outside of a place in the final.
So yeah, there's just a lot of it going around, and another Polish boat here. Kind of like we said, they have a really strong team at the moment.
So Jaka Brzezinski of Poland now launching his campaign through 3 and 4.
I think they have 3 boats in the semi-final. That's pretty impressive.
I think you're right.
Yeah, he's tight here. That's tight, and he's managed to hold on. Yeah, he's 1.35 up. Well, he's not taking the long lines in it, and he's definitely accelerating the boat and putting a lot of power in the strokes.
So that's an excellent upstream gate 13. And one of the things I would really draw attention to was Pepe Goncalves of Brazil. He went under the bridge, and he had found nearly 4 seconds. No one else has found that yet.
No.
So there is still a whole load of time if someone is prepared to take some risks and go and find it. Well, here's some time, nearly 3 seconds up on the split.
That's very nicely delivered. Yeah.
Yeah, Brzezinski was surely his left gate 20 still with an advantage. Yeah. Maybe not as much as he had as he went under the bridge, but
he's a bit low.
This is now critical. We've seen little mistakes on the final couple of gates.
He hasn't gone for that tight line now. He's gone for that above line. And
so Jaka Brzezinski for Poland now.
Did he have a touch?
It's going to be a quick run, though.
Reviews, but it's going to be quick. It's the lead. There you go.
It is the provisional race lead. Well done, Jaka Brzezinski for Poland goes into the race lead, but it is provisional, and there are reviews on 3 different gates.
And it's the same. Like, there was time in that last upstream, and he was very tight in a few gates, but that's very good. I think if those reviews come clear, I'd be getting ready for a final run, I think.
I think there's actually an under 92 run here.
Wow. We got a Czech partner. Now we're about to find out.
So, on course, the world champion of 2017, Ondrej Tunka. The first of 3 very quick men's kayak boats for the Czech Republic in this men's kayak semi-final. And, well, we've got 11 boats still to finish. So, once Ondrej's been, then we'll start to confirm who is in the final. So,
I think he had such an impressive team trials this year, Tunka did, and especially here in Prague. And the crowd's getting behind him. And he's late on 10, 11. He's down 2 seconds on Brzezinski's time.
It doesn't look as fluid as you would expect, and he's dropped low on 12 to 13.
Yeah, he's struggling to keep the run together.
It certainly looks like he's having to force the run. I mean, that's good on 14, but he is having to force it, and it's not the usual fluid approach that you would expect from Ondrej.
He'll have to do something very, very special down the bottom here, and he's 4.48 down, and I wonder will he go for a direct. Well, it was a very good spin. It's a very good spin, and Brzezinski did he was low. But I think he had to do something like that at that stage. He had to go for a very aggressive upstream. And it's a pity it hasn't gone Tunka's way today, but I think we all know he's very well capable of winning a World Cup here. Never mind just getting a medal here and making the final. So.
Yeah, it's not going to be a place in the final for Ondrej, because not only was that time loss in the upstream 20, but a penalty as well. And, well, at the moment, into 16th place and pending a review. But one thing we can confirm is Jaka Brzezinski of Poland is confirmed as our race leader following those reviews. And Hannes Aigner in 2nd for Germany, Stefan Hanks in 3rd for Germany, and we've now got 10 boats to go in this men's kayak semi-final. We're live from Prague in the Czech Republic, and we will shortly be confirming our first competitor into this afternoon's final.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, it's Quan Xing of the People's Republic of China on course now, 17th at the Tokyo Olympic Games, and well, he's asked a question on the upstream gate 6.
Answered. It's a pity, because that was one of his best heats results I've ever seen. I follow him a bit, and he's that same again on 10-11. He's seriously good here this weekend. Like, that heats performance is very impressive for him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. He's obviously set out, he's absolutely cutting the limit, which is what you'd expect. But a 50 awarded on gate 4 and gate 6. They are now being reviewed. Each of there's a video review judge as well to make sure that a fair penalty is awarded. But it certainly seems that, well, what might be bad news for the People's Republic of China is good news for Poland, because Jaka Brzezinski will be our first confirmed qualifier into the final. That final you can watch 12 o'clock Central European time. We go with the women's kayak final, and then we follow on immediately after that with the men's kayak final.
Yeah, it's a pity to see those mess ups in our own, but same again. I think his heats performance was super impressive, and definitely a lot of confidence to take towards the world champs in Augsburg this year.
So it isn't going to be, but it's a respectable run for Quan Xing of the People's Republic of China, and Jaka Brzezinski for Poland. Our race leader is our first qualifier. So next, Hannes Aigner in 2nd for Germany. We'll be seeing whether he's done enough, and surely he has done enough.
I'd be surprised
to make it in
if the 2 Germans don't make it in. But now we have Jakob Grieger, and he's been in plenty of finals here as well, and he's definitely in very good form at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Jakob in the final here as well.
Yeah, fresh from getting married.
Fresh from married. I just think he's expecting a child as well. So so fair play to him for still keeping the form.
And when I say fresh from getting married, I think it was last weekend, wasn't it? So he really has
wow. Well,
literally just...
I wonder, is his head still sore? But I think his paddling here begs to differ. He's still paddling very well.
I'm not sure whether Slovak weddings are quite the same as Irish weddings, but we shall have to wait and see. But he's certainly 0.87. Well, he is in touch, and at the end of the day, this is about making it through into the final and then taking the risks.
12-13, bit of a high exit, but he's definitely still lovely in 14 as well. Wow, this is a very good run.
Effortless as well. He's really gliding the boat nicely, making it look
slow,
easy.
but then it's a new split, it's Brzezinski's split, but he's just behind it, but that was a very quick split.
Well, yeah, don't forget, Brzezinski he found a lot of time over Aigner on the top and the middle. It was at the bottom he gave it away. So
nice. This is a quick bottom. I think he's putting together a very good run here.
I think we could be looking at the new race leader here for Grigor of Slovakia, the Olympic silver medalist from Tokyo. And that was a water splash, it looked like, on gate 22. Now through, so no penalty.
Very good.
And surely the race lead.
Boom. Exact same time.
So we have a draw. And
that's him qualified and that's him in. Wow, yeah, very, very good. So apparently get married before your run and you'll do class.
95.29, Jakub Grigor and Jakub Brzezinski on the same time. Then Hannes Aigner still in third place at the moment. But this is what the crowd have come to see. It is the athlete who has won everything in his career. Yeah, he's a two-time world champion. He is an Olympic gold medalist from Tokyo, Yuri Priskovic on course.
5-time European champion, I think, as of last weekend. And yeah, you can see he almost looks casual here. Like he knows he's so quick. And wow, yeah, he looks like he's very casual and he's just running the boat.
Well, when I said we could be getting near 92 or even less,
yeah,
I had this chap in mind to help us out there.
I kind of want to see if he'll take the direct down the bottom. I'm kind of egging him on to do it. I really want to see it, but if anyone will, it's him. Lovely in the middle there as well.
Well, this is where the time is in the middle, and if anyone can find it, you'd expect Yuri to do that. His silky smooth paddling, and again you'd expect him in this semi-final not to be taking the really tight risks.
Yeah, he's really putting on a clinic here, like just waiting for his strokes and go on, is he going to do it?
Well, 0.57, he has extended the advantage, but
he's struggling a bit at the spin, but I think he has a lot of an advantage to play with. Lovely last upstream 20, really good, really nice paddler here.
So now coming into the final upstream,
very nice.
Gate 21.
Interesting enough, he's actually gone for that above line that the Germans and Hengst went below, but here he is, and I think this might challenge for the lead.
It surely is going to take the race lead. He's drifting to the finish, and 94.33. Boom!
Yeah, and he looked like he wasn't really trying too hard, to be honest. It's pretty amazing, pretty ridiculous, but fair play to him.
So job done, well done, Yuri Priskovic for the Czech Republic. You are our race leader and you are into the final. There is an asterisk against his name, but that's normally routine at this stage of the competition. Jakub Grigor and Jakub Brzezinski also our qualifiers so far. So Michal Pasiat of Poland now sets off and looks to, well, if he wants an automatic place in this final, he's going to need to go in under 95.44. That's the time of Hannes Aigner of Germany, who is sitting waiting to see if he has done enough.
Yeah, he's very smooth paddler. Like, he's really nice to watch paddling, and he's definitely...
Yeah, Michal, and he's a regular finalist. He's absolutely capable. He's no stranger to the kind of pressure in the semi-final and delivering what's required, and he looks good on 13. Yes. He looks like he's got the rhythm, and he's certainly looking composed.
Well, there's a nice upstream in 14. He's going on the basic. Yeah, he's putting down he's a bit stuck in 16, but he's really running the boat here, and there's a lot of boat speed on now.
Well, 0.86, don't forget that's against Priskovic.
Touching 17.
But yeah, that suddenly opened up a problem. Another penalty, and it's all going wrong for Pasiat of Poland. Another touch on 20, and unfortunately
it's be very difficult to come back from 3 touches. And unfortunately, it's a pity because it was a really calm and composed run up the top. And
so bad news for Poland's Michal Pasiat, but that's good news for Germany's Hannes Aigner, who will join Jakub Grigor.
Yuri Priskovic has actually been given a 2-second penalty, so he's no longer qualified. But now he is because of Pasiat going in below him. Wow, that was a brief, scary moment, but I don't know where the touch was. I didn't see it.
Yes, it was interesting. I paused for exactly the same reason when I looked at the top of the leaderboard. Didn't have Yuri Priskovic's name on. Let's have a look.
We have Vit Prindis up the top. It was 18. It was the spin.
It's gate 18. So let's watch.
Another paddler, very well capable of putting in the magical below 95 time. Very wide approach into gate 2.
The reigning World Cup winner.
Lovely. Yeah, he's very smooth paddler to watch, and he definitely runs some nice lines. A lot of boat speed. When you look at Vit Prindis paddle, he's kind of like Hauser a lot. Like, there's just so much speed on the boat, no matter what he's doing.
Well, let's watch. Vit, he's a world championship silver medalist. He's a 2-time World Cup champion, but of course, he's just made his job a little bit harder as he heads towards the upstream gate 13. Well, that's not unlucky for him as he comes in towards 14.
I think he's very capable of getting in with the touch, and as long as he keeps delivering, and he delivers down the bottom, and a nice line out of 14 and 15, and 16 he had to lean off, but...
Well, this is the critical time. 1.5 seconds down.
Another touch on 17, I think. Oh no, this is slowly coming undone for Vit.
Yeah, it's not quite found the groove on this run. He's still looking tidy.
Reviewing it, and I actually saw the gate on 2 wobbling. Actually, I'm gonna be quiet. Well, this is a very nice last upstream.
Let's focus, because the time he's got to beat for an automatic place is 96.45, and that's the time he's got to beat. He looks like he could well be inside that, but there are still reviews going on. And 98.22.
But I think if a few of those touches come off, or like say there's a few reviews on him, he could be in contention, but I wouldn't. If the touch comes off, I don't know, it's hard to say.
Well, that has silenced the crowd a little bit, just for a moment, because Vit Prindis must have been a favourite for the final. We'll have to wait and see. Only 12th at the moment as we watch Callum Gilbert for New Zealand, who put in an outstanding performance in the heats, and we know he's quick. Can he do it now in the semi-final?
A very, very smooth run, and in his heats I watched that, and it was very, very impressive. And very technical paddler, very, very nice edges, and he gets a lot out of his upstreams, and yeah, he's a very nice paddler to watch.
I'm sure there'll be a few people watching through the night back in New Zealand for the Tauranga paddler.
He struggled a bit there, and a very high exit on 6 and 7, but as long as he can keep the speed on the boat, I think he's late on 9.
He's looking tidy.
And he's still very much so in touch with the split. The boat speed is just so good with him. He's a very good connection on a stroke column. Like, he gets a lot of power out of it, and I know he works very, very hard on it.
He's super tight on the exit of 13 into 14, and certainly very much still in the mix. The time for an automatic place in the final is now 96.74.
Lovely. Yeah, he's still holding it together despite having difficulties at the top. He's a bit off Grieger's time, but
well, this is the critical part of the course. A little bit cautious, conservative there, but he is still on track, especially if he can do that upstream gate 20. But 3 gates, and 3 not that easy gates. There's a lot of time still trading hands on the bottom.
Yeah, he was very on top of that first up, I think, without a very tight exit. I don't see it happening for Callum today, but it's to pull down the run that he's putting down even after having a lot of difficulties is quite impressive.
Well, Callum Gilbert for New Zealand is going to be outside of a place in the final, into 17th place. But a respectable run there, and that does confirm Pepe, as in Pedro Goncalves of Brazil, into the World Cup final. So at the moment,
Dugu waiting for qualification.
We have 7 boats qualified, and we still have 4 to confirm. Not sure my maths adds up there, but let's focus on David Lorente of Spain here. He's a World Championship medalist, and we always know he's super fast, but is that a penalty on the first upstream?
Yeah. Now, I do feeling he'll be able to come back from this, but he's such a fast paddler, and I think he's very impressive at 6 there as well. It's a very long exit. He's fighting it a bit here. Oh, he's after getting stuck in 9 and 10. I think there's a very, very impressive Spanish team at the moment. They have a lot of high quality paddlers at the moment, especially in the K1 team. You have the likes of Mikel Trave and Lorente and Manuaco, and there's so many good Spanish paddlers at the moment, and they're one of the most competitive teams, I think, at the moment.
Well, David, 3.85 down, so he's definitely going to have to sharpen things up, and that's not helping on 16. He was a finalist here last year at the Prague World Cup, again, the first World Cup of the season. He finished 8th, but it's slipping away 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Surely that's a huge margin to come back from.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but it's impressive that he's still fighting for it down the bottom, and it's the sign of a very good athlete. And I have no doubt there's impressive results waiting for David later on in the season, and I think he's here for the extreme slalom as well. He's on their extreme slalom team, so I think we'll see him again in action.
Yeah, I think his body language says he knows he's done. And unfortunately, David Lorente of Spain is not going to be in the final.
Dugu is going to get in, Martin Dugu.
So good news for Switzerland. Martin Dugu is into the final. Well done.
Mario Leitner then is next, waiting for qualification, and it'd be very nice to see Mario in the final now, I have to say.
But then looking at it now, Peter Kauser is sitting in 9th place and looking like he's unlikely, certainly going to be on the limit. Let's see. Chris Bowers.
Seriously impressive heats run as well, and I think he really challenged for the first spot in the team in the British selection this year, and you can tell he's in seriously good form at the moment, and he's paddling really well.
So he won 2 medals at under 23 level last year at the Europeans and the Worlds, and now, he's an accomplished senior paddler, but starting, like you say, to put the pressure on the other team paddlers.
Nice. Yeah, he's in contention here. He'll be up in the split. Oh, is he just gone by 10?
I don't think so, but I might be wrong. 0.63.
Yeah,
oh yes.
Did. Oh, I was so confident. I didn't. I questioned myself, but it's Joe Clark did the exact same thing. It's wow, it's a seriously tight line to go for, but it's that same, when you're in Prague, you just have to commit to lines like that, and if it goes your way, it goes your way. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It does mean that Mario's going to get into the final though, which is very nice to see.
So Mario Leitner of Austria benefits from that mistake from Chris Bowers of Great Britain, unfortunately.
He's still like without the 50, his time is very impressive, and it's really in touch. And same again, he's delivered that 19-20 move very well. So
10 boats will go into the men's kayak final. We might have a joint lead at the moment, but it still means there's only 10 boats that will go through. And unfortunately, Chris Bowers has put in a good run, but another margin. But the fine margins involved in canoe slalom is the wrong side of the margins, and a 50-second penalty. And it's not to be a final for Chris Bowers. Into 31st place, but as you said, Noel, Martin Duguid of Switzerland, and now Mario Leitner of Austria joins Pedro Goncalves, Stefan Hanks, Jiri Preskovic, Hannes Eigner, Jaka Brzezinski, and Jakob Grieger. Jakob Grieger still
Kauser's leader. Now Felix, definitely one of the form boats of the season, I think. Silver medal, silver in the European Championships, and he's definitely in really good nick since the Olympic Games, and he's won several medals since. So.
Yeah, I'd agree. Felix Oshmartin, of course, at the Olympic Games, he was outstanding. He finished 4th, having paddled back to go for a gate in the final. So
it's the type of speed I was about to say from Felix. He's one of those paddlers who can not only be fast, but be fast with a mistake, and he can claw back mistakes, and it's a whole other top gear that he's capable of.
A little bit sticky.
A bit sticky there, so he's going to need that gear, but he's...
But the important thing, he has the advantage, and he has the advantage over the race lead. His job is actually only to go into the top 10.
That's a very good point. And what are we looking at now? Kauser's a 97, so he does have a lot of time to play on. He had a very nice upstream there and up 14.
So 2 boats still to finish, 2 places still to be decided, and at the moment Kauser and Heger are those in the clubhouse, so to speak. And Oshmart's currently coming down and showing that he's still in touch. 0.47 down, but still very much in touch with a place in the final.
Nice spin as well. I would, barring anything, I think he could start. I think he might make it in. Oh, a touch. Oh, I spoke too soon, man. Oh man.
Is he going too steady? He looks certainly like he's very composed.
That was a very lovely exit though. So it'll be tight. It'll be tight to make that 97 mark. I think he'll be in touch.
97.18 was the time to beat. He is currently outside of that, so he is in 10th, so he is standing a chance, but at the moment that means Peter Kauser is qualified for the final. Well done, Peter. For Slovenia, Felix Oshmats will have to wait and see whether he has done enough. And there's only one person that can take that away from Felix, and he's on course now, Giovanni De Gennaro of Italy. Hugely consistent paddler, always in the mix.
Yeah, he's been very good the last year, and I think what makes Giovanni so impressive is that he's just the boat speed on the boat is always insane, and he doesn't necessarily take poles the tightest, but he's a very, very impressive paddler when it comes to boat speed.
Well, he was second here in the World Cup last year on this course, so he's definitely...
Must be a very fast split, I'd say. Oh, never mind. That's 9 and 10, just caught him up again.
Well, Woods obviously filtered up the course to give 10 a bit of respect, I think.
I'm just going to show up from now on, man. I just feel like I've put a curse on a few people, but he's still very much so in touch.
Well, let's focus on his job in hand. His job isn't to win this semi-final. His job is to go quicker than 97.38 to go off again in the final. That final you can follow live after the women's kayak final. We start live at 12 o'clock Central European time. Don't miss that out.
You need to be a bit quicker than the split he's on now, but Felix had that touch down the bottom. This is good.
He can't afford any mistakes though. He's absolutely got to deliver these last 3 gates on the course.
Yeah, he's making sure of that exit there and between the poles. That was a water touch, I think, on 21 now.
Yeah, no risks, I think there. Water splash, and it's got to be inside. 97.38. He's comfortably inside into 4th place. Well done, Giovanni. We will see you in the final.
He's like that. He's what I talked about with Felix. He just has that speed on him to take mistakes and still be one of the fastest in the world. And wow, that was very, very impressive.
So there, the relief quite clear for Giovanni. It wasn't the run that he would plan, but it shows there's still some more in the tank, because he was, well, slipped into 4th place. But it is Jakub Grigar and Jaka Brzezinski for Slovakia and Poland respectively, who are our joint
runs. 9 clean runs made it in.
They're the joint leaders from the semi-finals.
9 clean runs. Only Yuri got in with a touch.
And here we are. This is the result. So this is the top 10 that will race out in reverse order. Peter Kauser will lead the way in that men's kayak final from around about 12:30 Central European time. But join us for the women's kayak at 12 o'clock. And then some big names that miss out. Oshmats, form boat for Austria, misses out. The likes of the world champion Boris Never of France, Vit Prindis, the World Cup champion from last year, misses out as well.
No other Czechs, it was unfortunately just Yuri made in, Tonka and Vit missed out.
And then there's people like the Olympic champion of Rio 2016, Joe Clark of Great Britain, that 50-second penalty on gate 10. And gate 10, well, that was the undoing of several. Lucien Delfour of Australia as well.
I think there was there was 11 50-second penalties. That's a lot for a semi-final. And wow, 12 of them actually. Wow.
So the men's kayak semi-final is complete. We know who has qualified into the men's final. We will be back 12 o'clock, of course, Central European time for the women's kayak final, followed by the men's kayak final live from Prague. Planet Canoe.